fast, kind of flashy player. Then you've got the established legendary names, Forrest and Freiberg here as well. Halzerk is dressed up to the nines as well. He's got like the
nice
glasses
shades
on. I'm loving the look, and so that's really kind of selling me on it as well.
The look is the biggest incentive.
Yeah,
I'm going to get spicy. I'm going to go the other way, right? I'm going to try and believe in this Eternal Fire team. You know, I think it's a really cool project, a really cool story. Obviously, the results aren't really there yet for Eternal Fire, but we know the peak of these players. If they can come alive on LAN, which, you know, some of these guys really are LAN players. Antara is such a good example. You know, he does so well. Woxic, I mean, he's always been a LAN player. I think this could be a really, really good team. I just need to see the results. This is the time to show it for Eternal Fire. We're in to the matchup. It's Vertigo. It's a BO1, and it's an 0-1 game already. Gonna be some sad faces after this one, no matter how you cut it. Walking to A. Dignitas haven't given up the aim of the game just yet, but they've got 4 players here ready to pounce. Antara is tasked with stopping them. He's going to decide to give up the site or give up the ramp and go back. No flash to reaggress on A. X-Files has the utility on the B site, so it's going to be a retake setup here for Eternal Fire if things end on A. And Dig double nading sandbags. I like that call. It's spicy for a pistol round. They've now got XX smokes. Antara's over the top can maybe catch an angle, especially if Dig peek before the smokes bloom. They won't make that mistake. Flash over. Antara's turns, but can he do anything about this plant?
Oh, they fake it out to begin with. And now look to go back to it, hoping that would have, you know, triggered the nades to rain on in. Oh, Halzerk taking matters into his own hands is good for a double. And he's kind of reclaimed this lost man advantage that Dignitas were looking to contend with. Heat going on a bit of a tear, trying to make it the triple, trying to kickstart this series in a big way. And he will knock down 3. So Heap, a big player in the pistol. Dignitas going to get off to a good start. And seriously, when it comes to this guy, don't underestimate him. No. Heap is super fast, man. Yeah. He is a real joy to watch.
That's why Dig are cool, because it's this combo of old and new. We often talk about it like having legends, like raise up newer players. I think Halzerk can keep some of those examples, right? Both young guys in their own right. Heap 22, Halzerk 21, and both very, very fast, you know, individuals. Halzerk, of course, being the AWP player for this team. So, yeah, Dig are a spicy roster. Definitely a team capable of taking upsets here at the RMR. For Eternal Fire, started good for a pistol, but fell apart quickly, and now they've got to make up the call of whether they want to force or not. Bit of a techie. Get them out early, we say, in round 2. No worries. But of course, the A stream right now has some bangers going on. Vitality FaZe are taking each other on for that 2-0 game. Both teams that we expect to see, you know, making it through to the next stage. I think the bigger question mark is, of course, going to be on Vitality, who haven't performed since forming this roster, but they've had a bit more time now. We're back into the swing of things as well. Full USPs, Eternal Fire not forcing up. May as well play. Oh, the last second buy. There was 1 second on the clock when they started investing. So let's see what they're going to do with it. Standard A lean. And it is Vertigo after all. What else would you expect?
Yeah, I love a bit of an A lean, don't you? Calyx posted with the Deagle, looking down the short side. You know, doesn't want to just go feeding the beast, what with this little force spy coming out, so he's kind of just taking a more passive info role, right? Gave it a little jiggle, spotted that there were people down there, and then rightfully decided, yeah, I don't really want to fight that. Gonna wait for them to close the gap. Here's a molly from Forrest to try and deny any sort of short peek for Eternal Fire.
I like ladder util. You don't see enough of that, do you? But there's so many things you can find. You even found a wallbang for the boost headshot angle from the ladder with the orb. You can even deagle spam through it, so a lot of options in this position. And Dig, so many options, they want the whole menu. They're going to group up in ladder, try and take top mid together at 50 seconds. It's very late, but it might just be this mid to B crunch Only Emor here, and he's not really spotting, playing timing, scared of the boost, going to lean back to B at the right time and set his teammate up with flashbangs, but can't get caught, but the bulk of T's moving in through mid.
Oh, Freiburg is the opportunity. It's a good response from Emor. He does well to go 1-for-1 there. Xfloud will get bested, and Zantares on for this rotation. Over construction, but drops into his death. Suddenly we're looking at Calix, the man short earlier on. This Deagle, oh, it's looking juicy. First kill found, and he knows someone's trapped in this site. I love that call. Halzerk and Lekro, they just do a bit of a countdown. You know, peak on 3, and then they count from 3.
Yeah, and then do they peak?
And then they peak. Wow. That's why they call it that. So it's like you would. So
no, I think I get you.
It's like 1, and then 2, and then 3. And
is
then
that
on
Swedish for 1, 2, and 3?
Yeah, that is. Yeah, actually, that's how they say it in Gotland.
In Gotland, Sweden, of course.
Yeah.
Is Gotland the island?
Yep, I think so.
Gotland, isn't that the place where all the Swedish cement comes from? That is true.
Yeah, everyone talks about it.
I mean,
as far as I'm concerned, it is the true capital of Sweden. Gotland, that is.
Gotland, yeah. Yeah, no, it is the island. Yeah, that's where all the cement comes from. I don't know why I know that, but there's loads of cement on Gotland.
Like Stockholm, psh, Gotland.
Now we're talking.
Real shit,
that's
you know?
The good stuff, yeah. Well, they're going to try and build up some walls on this T side right now. They've done it with the money at least, broken that very late force buy for Eternal Fire. Now it's going to have to be an eco. Still some techies going on. Do you have the tech? Were you the finger skateboarder at school, flipping it?
Tech decks, you mean?
Tech decks, that's
yeah.
it. Yeah.
No, because I was rather poor.
Ah.
And so, you know, the only thing with kind of wheels that I got to play with was a large hoop that you would run with down a street, putting a little stick inside its sticking hoop.
What, were you in the 1950s?
Yeah.
Is that when you were born?
Yeah, I actually am 93. I just have very good genes.
Yeah, no, those are more like tracksuit bottoms.
They are tracksuits, but that's the key to a good pair of jeans.
You
don't get them made out of denim.
Admin's trying to hold himself together. Dignitas cracking memes, of course.
Of course they are, man. I mean, if Freiburg's having a joke with you, you can't just actually stand there and you know, like
you can
blow him
pretend
off.
not to look at him, but it's not going to work.
Hello. What's happened here?
Let's talk this though. Woxic in-game leading this team. That's an exciting prospect. That's a weird time to be alive, right? Obviously, through Space Soldiers, they had many players try many roles, right? At one point, Major was, of course, in this roster as well. But Woxic now taking on the in-game leading role is something new for this guy. Obviously, an AWP player as well. And talking, that, Harry, what are your expectations? Obviously, he had a lot of time in Mouse under the helm of Carrigan.
Yeah, he's definitely had like one of the greatest IGLs to grace the game be his IGL, so I can assume that, if even a fractions of that has kind of rubbed off on him, it can have a positive impact. And, I think even if you look at elsewhere in this roster, folks like Zantares playing under Tabson, another great IGL, admittedly, I wouldn't say kind of the same level of... I can't even think of the word here that I'm looking for. Maybe like tenure as like a Tabson, because even though he obviously is the IGL of the squad, I don't think you can necessarily compare him and like Carrigan's achievements, but still another established IGL kind of player who kind of rubbed off on Zantares. So you've got players who have played under these like very established names. It's just how much have they tried to mend that with their own style. But I think it's very interesting. I want to see how that looks.
Yeah. I trust your opinion as someone, who's rubbed off on Carrigan yourself. So I believe you there. Little short A take. We got a double pistol setup. Zantares good for one, but this was never going to be much for Eternal Fire as no armor, no chance. He almost gets dropped off the box, but instead it's going to be Emor running through the smoke. Almost a kill. So many almost, Harry, but unfortunately no participation prizes at this event. 3-0 for Dignitas and Eternal Fire coming in with guns.
Yeah, very good start for Dig, but this is where, you're hoping that the response can be found by Eternal Fire. won't have the AWP out right away. And, you know, at a bare minimum, at least Dig haven't got one of their own, haven't got Halzerk dotting that. So it's an AWPless first rifle round.
Yeah, you also have a lot of AWPing presence for this team as well. Emor, in his past, he's been a really ferocious AWP player, so you've got a nice double AWP. And even in the past with Space Soldiers, many of these players had done the AWP over their careers. You know, not necessarily as roles, but more so as just like spawn plays or feeling plays, like Calyx as well. Was known to pick it up from time to time, second AWP in Space Soldiers. So, yeah, you've got a lot of AWP potential for Eternal Fire. Wait for that money to come out. Right now, first gun round, and these weapons are being put to use with that pick onto Halzerk down ramp. We saw Dig like a double nade on this sandbag, so Xantares has to be careful. He's trying to take a fight from this position. It's not got much support. Woxic is holding a flash in heaven, and this is nice. If Dig get top ramp, he'll call for the flash. However, Dig are going back to B.
Emor drops the molly. This is hoping to slow Dignitas down, but they've not respected it at all. Xfloud here, back of the site. It was kind of a bait and switch setup for Eternal Fire, and it's worked wonders. Emor's good for one more, and he's bought plenty of time for those rotations, hasn't he? So Eternal Fire, they're going to hit the ground running here. Their rifles come out, and they immediately find some success with it. Now, Dignitas, they tried something a little different there, right? Just feigning some A control for a brief moment, going back into a late B play once they went a man down. Eternal Fire had a really nice setup, but they kind of had freedom to have that double stack, that bait and switch, because they go 5 and 4 up early on. So, you know, Dig maybe going to be a little more measured in how they approach the early round here. They've also got this AWP in Halzerk's hands, and so he's going to look to try and use that down here at the bottom of ramp, hoping this is how he can find the opener.
Oh, if only. Yeah, Dig are a team that really like to give Halzerk the room in these early rounds to find picks, and yeah, for good reason. With Halzerk, he gets smoked off, and so he pops through with a flash, but Calyx wins that fight. Meanwhile, Eternal Fire seem convinced that this is an A play. They've taken B stairs, a lot of info early on. UMP running down the short side. Freiburg will give it up and get an AK instead. Eternal Fire still want to fight for ramp. Xantares is still in this position. Same setup as last round, but this time it will matter. Woxic still holding the flash. Xantares gets out of dodge. Back to the bomb site with you. Some wallbang damage goes a long way. And I like that molly. It stops Dig from throwing the standard left side sight smoke from the easy lineup, but also means Xantares can boost up and then pop with a flash. Beautiful peek. Halzerk getting caught, scoped up. Freiburg trying to get out short side. There's so many players here, though. With all that B info for Xfloud, Eternal Fire have fully rotated. Dignitas are walking into a trap.
Yeah, pretty much the full setup here, right? Trusting the B side down to just one man. It's the right read for Eternal Fire. Dignitas, I don't know it, but the odds, the odds are meant to be against them, but out of nowhere, Lekro and Freiburg have lit up the scoreboard. Oh, can't hold the line, can Calyx. Oh dear.
Nade?
It goes in. I don't think it would ever do enough, right? Just a little tickle onto Forest. Gonna take more than that to knock this guy down. Xfloud going up. But if he tries to go over, he sees an elbow. It's only a little more damage to Forest. He's brought him down to one-shot range, but he's just playing on the back of Freiburg. Oh, nice. He's isolated the fight. Xfloud, lovely 1v2. Really had no business winning that. Forest gives him the invitation with that little wide swing. Just a tiny bit off the mark with Freiburg, right? You understand, feeling the need to take a peek there. You're worried that Xfloud hit some weird timing. You know he knows where both players are. He knows what the intention was behind that play.
God, what a wild round, though. To think that was 5-on-3 at 20 seconds, and then Lekro just hits some taps into the bomb site. And then you have the old v new, right? You have the young'un of Xfloud taking on legends of Freiburg and Forest, and he still wins it out. Great hunt, great chase. Dignitas, back to the drawing board with you. Broken money now. They call in attack early. You can see the hype for Eternal Fire, right, knowing what an important round that was. Dignitas may have gone 3-0 up, but once we've hit guns, Eternal Fire have been lethal. They've had ideas, right? You can see there's a lot of maps played for both these teams, in being these teams that are playing qualifiers, playing a lot of online games, and so there's experience there. But Eternal Fire, they already have protocols in place. They've got nice flash plays. The boosts were good, perfect timing as well. They've got ideas. So Dignitas, what do they want to do? Just Deeks now. Halzuk saves for the AWP. Freiburg throwing up a mid-ramp smoke to get some space. Santaris is running through it. He don't care. Quick kill. And all of that control taken back for Eternal Fire. It's going to mean they can set up easily for mid and B. Santaris doesn't need to go any further in this round. Dignitas are bleeding it for all it's worth.
He's going to come back in with the Deagle. Look to challenge for ramp, maybe. And if you do get this one kill on the aggro Zantares, that's going to really start to shimmy some rotations around. He knows that, however, and will just drop this util. Oh my god, he's going back in.
He's mental.
Yeah, I was going to say that's just like a little too much, Zantares. He will decide against it. I like that, right? Just him being alive has allowed for the rest of his team to kind of move over and reinforce this ramp area, and it's left Dignitas with very little to go off of. Now, it was only pistols, so they didn't have much of a chance of making much of this round, and that's pretty much all out the window now, having to just trickle up the B stairs. Going to try the boost to get themselves an angle. Maybe they catch this player on double. They learn about Emo. That's a lovely dig for Lekro, but it's only one. And he will get traded after the fact. So Halzuk all alone. And they give him a chance at that one fight there. I think that's the only 1v1 he's going to get. The wrap from Calix seals the deal. And man, for a moment, Lekro's Deagle, I think he really is like one of the best Deagle players going.
Yeah.
I thought he was gonna go on a bit of a tear there, but unfortunately just the one. So we don't get to see that famed Lekro Deagle just yet.
Not yet. There's still time, Harry. There's still a future. Good round to play close for xFloud. Probably wasn't expecting that instant headshot, but that's what you get. We've seen Dig molly that in their gun round. Knew it wasn't available on a round like that, though. Lekro will go back to B, looking for a little more vengeance, perhaps. It's only xFloud here. Eternal Fire have shown a lot of aggression on the B side of things, but this round they're taking ramp back. Double mid peek as well. Pushed in deep to set Woxic's AWP up. He had the bodyguard of Emor. Won't last for long though, doesn't seem to be convinced. There's no one mid anyway, just passive defaulting for Dig. Gonna throw that close smoke to get up to short. Calix has to be very careful fighting this. You can't always see your opponent. He's filling it full of lead and utility. Dignitas late mid take again. They've been doing this a lot. Minute left and they're only just moving out into the choke point. Got a lot of angles to clear. It's all theirs. Woxic's holding a nice safe line, hard angle to pre-fire, and the boost is a nice way to get up over it. He won't be able to surely hit this flick, and pre-aims just in time. Flash to repeat middle. Eternal Fire want to stop digging their tracks, and they've done that. 40 seconds, and while two players have been shown in mid off the back of the boost dig, they are just leaving that in the back of Eternal Fire's mind. They're going back to an A play. xFloud gets the kill at B, and Dig are running out of options and running out of time. It's a retake setup.
Yeah, that's at least going to give them room, right? That's at least going to give them a chance to get this bomb down. They've only got one smoke, and so that's going to go in now. That's a little rough, right? You would love more than the one. Luckily enough, they all go up the short side to try and make use of this smoke. However, Emor holds the line with a double. Plants coming in. Calix doesn't find it on the spam, but it is just Freiburg all alone. 1 versus 4. A lot of work to do and not the ideal position to be in. Freiburg's cut down right away. Yeah, and so Eternal Fire, they make the retake happen.
Pretty desperate round for Dig, right? It's awkward that Lekro gets picked walking B at that point so late in the round. They don't want to challenge Yorp anymore in middle.
The thing that was insane about that B fight was that xFloud fought him through a Molotov to make that happen and burned down to 20 points of health. I fully thought he could have died in that molly, right? Playing the close spot again. But he sat in it for long enough that it was kind of no longer considered by Lekro, and then he wrecks him on the wide swing.
I like that he's just playing that every round right now, because even if he doesn't do it again in the half, Dig are not going to be able to go B without either hard clearing it or mollying it, and that's just more warning for Eternal Fire on when Dig are taking this B site. You know, when you have your least experienced player, your youngest player, soloing B, it's a very hard role, but xFloud right now is getting value out of it, and he's not getting picked. So Dignitas struggling on these T-gun rounds, back to a rifle round, or a single rifle round for Forest. Gonna move back to that A site 5 here. Eternal Fire, you know, they've not been overstepping on this CT side, right? Even though Santaris wanted to that other round. Smoke comes down, respect it, bit of spam just in case. But ultimately, it will be Eternal Fire, likely allowing the smoke execute. Re-aggressing and re-smoking. Santaris has the lineup. Calix committed on short right now with util to slow this play down. And smoke is really nice here because it means he can tuck into the gap even if Dig take the ramp side. Last round you can see how sure Emo was that it was fully short. Apart from Rock 1, he swung out default to stop that bomb. This time it's a bit of the opposite. Don't have Woxic laying a flash for Santaris this time. They're a bit more scared of the possibility of a mid-lurk. Calix is going to go back through the phase smoke, and he has a flash available as well off of the cool. 30 seconds at a resmoke is great timing, and Eternal Fire, they seem to know what's going on.
Oh, the molly at Sandbags forces the peak for Xantares, and now Dignitas just flood the site. Tech9 at the front. Freiburg trying to run down Calix, but he's helped out by Emo, and the bomb's been dropped in elevator. That is a disaster of a round into this A site. The Deagle Electro does come in and allow the bomb to get retrieved. He will find a plant in the end, but is ran down by Eternal Fire, who just don't give him the room to play that clutch.
The Lekro D, Harry. You've been hyping it up in the green room today. You're like, you said earlier, I'm going to dox you, said, I think Lekro D is still the best Deeg in the world. And I went, nah, man, nah. And he's not gone on any tears, but he's been consistently getting the entries.
I mean, you know, he hasn't had like any of these kind of like big triple kill rounds with it yet. But what he is doing is like the kill he is able to find is always a real space creator. And you still see that like signature Lekro cleanness with it.
I gotta say, I want to give a lot of props to Eternal Fire CT side right now. They're not overstepping. They're holding their util so late. They know when to give up a bomb plant. This is a really, really clean CT side right now. And Dignitas have not really been in any of these rounds since Eternal Fire have had guns. They've not been close. So this has got to be a huge rifle round for Dig to flip the script. Eternal Fire on fire right now, as you can see. It's 5 in a row. Hauser trying to AWP ramp again. They're not waiting forever for him, though. They again want to flash with the smoke, and it's another opener for Calix. He will die after one as the smoke fades. Xantaris sits back on sandbags, catches them throwing nades, and drops a smoke for his escape. He doesn't even need to leave with that smoke. They can molly. He can sit inside it. There's no pressure on Xantaris. He's just playing around. He hears them ticking the fire, and he follows up. 2 on 4 now. Dignitas are getting slammed.
Yeah, they really are, man. I mean, these A plays have not given them much love, have they? They've constantly been getting just whittled down at the ramp before even making too much progress. Now, Lekro's going to do what he can to make this a close round, but that's really all Dignitas have managed so far, right? Oftentimes, it's been a kind of rough spot where somehow they get a bomb plant, but never any further than that. Flash in for Emo. He doesn't know about this AWP on Hauser being so deep in the site. However, they're waiting with this Molotov to deny the bomb plant. You kind of touched upon how nice the util holding's been for Eternal Fire, and this is another example of that. The molly denying the plant, forcing Hauser to try get involved with his AWP, and he will nail that shot. However, Lekro's been spammed while planting, and so Hauser's now needed to clutch.
Stick. But it doesn't matter. 2 shots through the box for Woxic, and he's going to stop the round in its entirety. You know, they were even ready for that molly. Lekro had 5 health, and he fakes the bomb in the first place. He faked it, he ran back in case of a nade, in case of a Molotov. But to think that the molly isn't all Eternal Fire have. They have their AWP picking both players through default. Device-esque. That's dirty for Woxic. Oh my god, Dig just can't get comfortable. They can't get a bomb plant. And xFloud, not used to the camera time. But no time to relax here in the studio environment. Pressure's on, and Eternal Fire are rising to the occasion. Like, it's just the consistency of the positions they're playing as well, right? Woxic's on this mid-rotate role, able to assist with utility for the ramp play. Xantares keeps getting away with sandbags rounds. X-Cloud's close beat every time. Dignitas know what's going on. They just can't stop it right now. 6 up. Another hero rifle round. Freiburg gone back for the UMP. Yet to see why. It's a good SMG. Something that Glaive was using towards the end of the 5 Dane Astralis. Or the classic 5 Danes. So, yeah, I'm down with it. I'm down with the UMP. Mid-molly's getting set up. Halzerk, that's an A-site smoke as well. This is for construction, so Woxic's going to get mollied. He has to pick his poison, and oh dear, the golden chalice is filled with something juicy. Emor gets run down in middle. Woxic, close shot, he had to hit it, and the UMP comes up big. Traded from X-Cloud, he's given up B, but he doesn't want to. Dropping in to fight for the entire round. Both players are already in the site. He doesn't know. Nade will finish the job, and this round, as quick as it started, it should already be over.
Yeah, Lekro blinded, great flashes to just nullify him in the clutch. And I mean, even if Xantares didn't get that, Calix had him dead to rights on the wraparound. So Eternal Fire just continue to rack up these CT rounds. I've been very impressed with what we got out of them. And I mean, you know, it's kind of not hard to see why this team is so exciting, is such an enticing prospect. I really think when you kind of look at like the tenured 3-man core of what you would consider like real Turkish legends, Woxic, Calix, and Xantares, when these guys were in their peaks, they were like the difference makers for their tier 1 teams that they were a part of, right? Yeah. And so it's kind of this idea that, man, if you're even able to get them to like 90% form or like 80% form, doesn't even have to quite be at the peak with all 3 of them here. You know, you can get a hell of a lot out of this team.
It's got to be super nice for Woxer right now, calling these CT sides, and then he finally gets a B spawn, and he gets the pick onto Halzerk. Like, high impact early kill. Heaps had to take the AWP, and Woxic's just been shuffling, right? He's been floating all CT side, so always where the action is. This time he sat back at BX. Flad's playing the back of the bomb site. Got a deep smoke over to the bridge. Molly in front of it as well. It's going to scare Dig. They want to fight for the space, though. They drop a right-click flash, and they will stay here. Xantares isn't taking it. Mollied out. No way he's going to stay sandbags. This one, I mean, he's done it every round. They're so ready for it, surely. They've got more Molotovs. Emor's already set up on a big flank through middle. That's a very good catch. They've seen him. They know what's up. He needs a flash or a smoke.
Oh, dude, Emor's wrap. Good timing on it, right? He gets one and now just looks to fade out of there. The molly really starts to restrict Dignitas. And I mean, they kind of stopped considering it. They thought he was going to show them respect and not keep pushing on this wrap round. Instead, he's doubled up. He's put so much pressure on the ramp component. And it's only Lekro who's going to get torn through by Calix. Lovely little short push, and man, this Eternal Fire CT side here is just legit as hell. It's had some really nice moments. The aggression, it's always finding these kind of sick little timings. I think Emor played that wrap round to perfection. Yes. You know, gets one, dives out after the fact, goes back in once he's dropped this molly because he knows he can't get pushed. And it's all timed, it's all cohesive with Calix getting aggro on the short side. Yeah, I don't know how Xantares lived in that round, right? Obviously, they all had to turn. You said, oh, it looked like they discounted it. I think part of that is Heap going, yeah, I'm watching the flank. But then that molly comes in. He's 10 health. He can't stay in the molly. He has to run away. And that gives up the angle for the top ramp players to get picked. Eternal Fire, right when you think that they've shown everything, they start flanking. And Dignitas, just something they haven't even had to consider on these early defaults. What an awkward time for that to have happened. Lekro again, back for this B pick. This would be such a big kill to open up, and he does it. I don't know how he does it, but he makes it look so easy. Dig need to do something off of that, though. Woxic's still here with the AWP. He's got support from Calix. No flashes, and you'd love that to re-peak this B stair area. But Emor's a long way away with his one bit. So Woxic's going to have to take drive fights on the AWP, but we know he's quick. Who wins? Woxic AWP or Lekro Deagle? Let's find out. Waiting to assemble this boost. Flash goes in. Lekro throwing up onto it. And there's the Dig nailing another.
No.
It's so clean when Lekro's got this gun. Calyx back at the site now. Desperately trying to thin the herd. Does just get run down by Freiburg, who goes on a bit of a tear, doubling up with this scavenged A1S. And now it's just Emor. They get the bomb back. They look like they wanted to fight in there, but Freiburg decides the plant's more important, and Lekro's going to close it, much akin to how he opened it with that Dig. Man, now those are the Lekro Dig rounds I'm talking about.
Yeah. No, that's stylish, man. And he's been trying to do it all half as well. We saw him getting a bit stressed in the player camps in some of these previous rounds, often left in these 1v4s, 1v5s, but finally given a bit of freedom at B. And he's doing that to the AWP. Like, that's just despicable.
I don't even know how, like, the thing about his Deagle is it's just how, like, how suave it looks, how clean it looks, you know? He's never spamming. He's aiming in the exact right place. It feels like he gets a buff to crosshair placement when he's using it. And he just takes heads off. He makes the gun look so broken.
Oh, they're going for it.
Woxic trying to play through the short smoke does get bested by Heap, and so finally a chance to win these ramp fights. The tag onto Xantares means he can't get back into the site in time.
Okay.
Calyx pushing up through this little site smoke, trying to get ahead of it, trying to get ahead of the execute. He's going to have to go on a bit of a tear here.
Oh, he's getting out. He's dodging it. I was going to say, this is the most committed we've seen Eternal Fire to that bomb site, but now they're giving it up, allowing for the plant. Xfloud, he has a Molotov. It doesn't go in. The call is late off of the plant, and now he's even been picked out of CT spawn. This should be an undoable retake, but they have a kit smoke, and that can mean anything is possible. Calyx follows up. Close wall cleared, and now he's got to go back into the 1v1. There's a smoke behind him. Will that get conned? Does he even care? He's going to run back. We saw it in the corner. He goes over the top. He can't find it. Oh, there it is. That must have been commed over. Halzerk's going to peek before he even drops this on the site, though, so he might just be dead. And nice catch for Halzerk. Knows that Calyx is messing around with utility. A very nice try in a 2-on-4 retake, but it is still going to be Dignitas to close it, and they had to, man. Off the back of the deco, into a gun round. There's still hope in the half for Dig.
Ooh. That actually kind of looked fire as hell with the A1S like firing over the flickering. I don't think it was intentional, but hell, it felt pleasing to me.
Dig have been going a lot faster on these ramp rounds. They're going to do it again,
but
again through the smoke. Better than an AWP. Calyx has room for error, and he still corrects the spray to find Freiburg.
He wants to have a go. He wants to try and come through. It was him who bested the AWP of Woxic here last time to open up that A play that ended up working for Dignitas. He's going to try and replicate it. It's a bit awkward for Dig though, right? Whenever they don't get this opening fight, they really just kind of grind to a bit of a halt. You know, and Eternal Fire have been doing a good job of like not giving the equalizers away. You know, so often when they get these 5-on-4s, it's been really, really tricky for Dignitas to find a way to make it even odds again. Eternal Fire just kind of tuck in on the A site, lean back into a setup where they can fight for it if no util comes in. If the utility does start to rain over, if the exec comes through for Dignitas, they can lean into these nades, into the nades that have been working brilliantly. They even threw Xantares up onto the boost there. He didn't actually see anyone. But Eternal Fire still maintain this triple A setup.
Yeah, Woxic, this is going to be a banger if he hits it. Halzerk's creeping in and slow shot. It's easy for Woxic. Instant re-smoke at the 20 seconds. And again, this late utility has been the undoing. It's a 5-man A rotate. They know it's happening. Can Xfloud get the molly in time? Calyx can stop the plant from this position alone, and he's done it with 2. Dropping Lekro has won the round through the smoke, and Heap is found 4 alive for Eternal Fire. And this A site is such a problem for Dignitas. It's their game plan. It's all they've been abusing. It's Vertigo after all, but Eternal Fire have so many protocols in place, and Xantares keeps playing sandbags. Now they're pushing through smokes as well, even to get 5-on-4s. It's getting easy.
I would love a mid to be out of Dig, especially when you've got like Freiburg, who is just fearless with how he plays. Like, he will gladly be the guy to run in first, soak up shots, try go 1-for-1, and that's a great quality to have in a mid play. It really is. You know, Woxic's here early. Oftentimes, Eternal Fire have been leaning AAA to go for these ramp fights, these ramp duels. And so with a bit of noise getting made here, Dignitas, do they just want to commit to the ramp take again?
Oh, Lecro.
Lecro with the Deagle. The thing of legends.
They're back up A, 4 here. Xantares didn't get that spot, I don't think. You didn't see how many players are coming around the corner, but the headshot will show. Forrest pokes his dome out the top, looks for the kills. Freiburg gets dunked on by nades. Lecro's still low, but he's rotating back off of the B-bomb site. And so everyone's here for Dig. We might even have a mid-flank. Emor is in T-spawn right now. He's found the perfect gap. They're reboosting. This was being held for a moment. Oh, it's Forrest to steal the shot. I thought that was a flick. Instead, a kill will still do. Woxic looks for this A-pick angle. Got so much util to stop a plant yet again, gives it over to his teammates. Gonna miss the shot on the flashbang. The nade will go nowhere. Dig are already up in the site.
Yeah, Heat trying to take that close fight is just churned up. Halzerk's gonna respond with one, and Lecro's Deagle taps out another. Oh, Lecro makes it a double. The Deagle just holding this one angle from sandbags, and it's worked wonders. Only Woxic left standing, wondering how did this one go so wrong. Eternal Fire had everybody here. They had every reason to win this round. And now it's just him in the 1v3. A lot of time ticked off the bomb already. Smoke going to get dropped at his feet, trying to give him a bit more room.
Was he going to save?
I think he was going to save, and then someone said, mate, it's round 15. Come on, you got to go for it. And Woxic now reinvested, but with so little time left. Yeah, he's nailed that shot. However, inside of the site was Forrest the whole damn time.
Oh, the pain of an in-game leader. Tunnel visioned in, staring at his minimap, staring at his crosshair, but never staring at the score. It's still around at the end of things for Dig. It recovered pretty well, given how well that streak was for Eternal Fire. Felt like in that last round, they knew what was going on. They had everyone there, and they were just going for it, man. Off the back of the flank, they were all just fighting instead of waiting for the util like they had been in previous rounds. And we see a little broken buy get picked up by Dig at the end of the half. It's really nice shooting from Lecro this round, and this half entirely. I think this is where it gets difficult for Eternal Fire, though. What's their leading like on the T side? Easy to call CT side setups out of spawn, and Woxic go for opening picks. Not going to be as easy, you know, trying to get around this Dignitas defense. In we go, pistol round. A gimmick is great here. They've got a double Molotov. They're getting weird with it. Let's see.
So is this just going to be like a, you know, because you could use the Molotovs to nullify a lot of angles in this pistol, especially Lecro's position, right? It is like the dream molly spot. And so that's going to go in now. Are they going to, yeah, okay, they use them both. That's what I was curious about, if they were going to try and save one for a post plant. But instead, it is just used to crack this site open and force Lecro into fights he didn't really want to take. Xantares, good for a double on this Glock. Dignitas left in a bit of a rough spot. 3-on-4. Halzerk is low. They've got a kit. That's really the only thing going their way.
Plant's not for stairs. They've gone for that wide plant to cover for the flank, but they already had it. So this could get really weird if Xantares dies early. He needs to buy as much time as he can. A kill with him would be excellent. Fake flash over the top. Xantares just dueling, jiggling, fighting, baiting. Dignitas can't get him out of the corner, and he still follows up with a kill, hunting them down now. His team are here to help, and there's no help in Heap. He's a dead man in disguise. 2 shots to the head, but it will be the round for Eternal Fire. Nice little B-pop, the double Molotov like you called, and even with Lecro smoking it off, it's still a very difficult position to hold on with a USP. One of those guns where if you don't hit the first couple of headshots, you're a dead man. And yeah, they don't have to worry about the bomb plant position. Eternal Fire, 9-6 and a pistol. This can get out of control quickly.
And you know, I gotta say, like for Woxic as like the guy kind of calling the shots here, I've been reasonably impressed with it. You know, I think
T-sides.
Yeah, you know, when it comes to facing a squad like Dignitas, this is probably like one of the teams you want to try and be on like the same level of calling on, if not kind of better than. And I would say, you know, in terms of like CT rotates, they were very, very clean for Eternal Fire.
Yeah.
Even how they played the post plant there, that realization, that, okay, bomb isn't for us really. Double nades, gonna delete Halzerk. And you know, all these kind of little details, right?
Yeah.
The decision to run the double nades there, really nice way of snatching an opening kill. Very, very low risk to Eternal Fire.
It's put so much panic in Dig's pocket. They've got 3B right now. They have got all this info for Heap, so the rotates can come in. He sees 3 players, but you know, it's not going to save you when Eternal Fire set up with an execute on A. They have plenty of smokes, plenty of mollies. And it might even just be a save if Heap is solo A still off that info. Eternal Fire, they go back, they check their flank, and oh, do they overcomplicate it? Do they go back into the B stack that Dig have not torn down? Heap has even re-cleared the entirety of ramp, and now they're running into a triple setup.
Okay, this could get a little bit weird, especially with this Deagle on Lekro in position to do some damage. First kill goes the way of Freiburg, right? Oh, makes it a double.
Oh.
Lekro's gonna shut out another with the Deag. You gotta try and deal with him, Emor. He's dropped into his crosshair. Oh, now tagged from Generators. Emor is low. This is starting to get out of control. 1v2, and he does have this Deag still trapped at double. Time is the problem, though. Emor, if he wants to win this, he needs to just win the gunfights. He's dealt with the first.
Maybe.
Oh, he's tapped the bomb, and he thought he was going to get faced. There was enough time to plant. Heap was already running away to win it to time.
Wow.
And Emor gets all the kills, but the round goes the way of Dignitas.
It's very noble to fake that because he just saw the scout at green, but yeah, they'd already made the call, yo, give it up, just win the time. He can't plant here, and Dig already committed before he even got that first kill onto Lekro. That's overcomplicating it. Even when Heap got the info on A that Eternal Fire were rotating after that B kill, like they should still be committing there. They know that Dignitas can't have any of these positions like short. They can't have sandbags. They will still be leaning on the wrong side of the map. Even if Dig panicked off that info and fully rotated, Eternal Fire can still run the execute smokes before they get there. But a bit of panic. Oh no, the jig is up. We've been spotted. Let's go back to B. And Dig was so ready for it. They never shuffled off of that triple B setup. Really nice call out of Dig just to go down with their ship. And it wins the force by round. Emor kept AK trying to fight out in middle alone. But he is getting assaulted right now with utility. He's just drawing so much attention off this B site. Even the B player was looking at window for a second, and Emor's got so much space up the top of middle. Big opening kill. They don't even know what bomb site this is ending at, but everyone's running up B stairs.
Yeah, they've collapsed onto the solo mid lurk, but their decision to do that momentarily left the gap at B. And Eternal Fire have taken this room. Now Forest going to spam one through the smoke. It's Antares on the receiving end. Bomb plant coming in. Lekro right next to Xfloud in this smoke. Right, both at the generators, just on other sides of the coin. One's head, one's tails. Which way is this going to land? It's a 50-50 fight on the swing, and the Tech-9 is clean. Oh, it's so close.
You've won it.
You've already done it, Forrest. Go get on that bomb, bud. As he does get it over the line. That is a damn good try, though. Xfloud goes on a tear with the tech at Gens. 3 kills in about a second and a half, just spamming away with it.
Got to give it to Woxy there. He actually, him and his other teammate ran away from the plant, went back to stairs, and then the call comes in like, actually no, like if X-File's not going to get cleared, I'm not going to let him die alone. I'm going to die with him. And Woxy baits for X-File perfectly on close screen. He gets away with 3 tech taps to the head, and Forrest one-ups him with a 4K on the retake. Didn't even know the round was done, and we're having a lot of that in this game, right? A lot of teammates having to call stuff for their roster. Very, very scary round though, considering that was a 3-on-4 post plant. Emor's gone back in with a gun, and hey, he's having a great game right now, so nothing wrong with that. But again, it shouldn't be a winnable round. The only way it would happen is if he gets a pick and Dig fall back and let these execute smokes come in. That's the plan for Eternal Fire. They've got 2 smokes, a bunch of flashes, good pick. And now someone can grab that gun. Maybe Woxy with Kevlar already. Should give that bomb over if he does. It's fine for now. They're going to move up ramp. Dig, who lost their first man, will give a bit more control away, but maybe that's a one-way. It was a lineup smoke. Halzak has something, and they see him back. Spam won't do it, though. You got to hit the headshot. Halzak, tucked in at short, lives to tell the tale, and Eternal Fire want to set up smokes, but might not get given the room.
Yeah, they don't actually have
what?
the molly to clear this. Antares has opened up at short. Will they be ready for Freiburg, who late crossed to the sandbags? They don't have any way of flushing this out. They've got to check it. They've got to physically check it, and no one is. Freiburg with a double, and he's helped out by Forest going up, going over, and locking it in with a double. It's the two old boys at Dignitas who pop off there to find them a ninth and start to close this gap up. The hero AK on Emo not really accomplishing a hell of a lot, right? It all gets a little bit awkward when you don't have that Molotov, when you don't have nades to kind of force a peek out of a man on sandbags like Freiburg was. It very much hinged on him getting cleared. And I mean, I say Forrest saved him, he really did. Like, Woxic was running the sandbags to go and get that trade. Forrest and Freiburg, man, that's a duo as old as time itself.
Yeah, I ship it. And this T-side, worry for Eternal Fire is starting to get put together. We saw some scared calls in the second round, and so far we're just waiting for this gun round to see what this T-side has on offer. They're going back for an execute, just straight out of the gate, popping a full BXX. I like this, very effective. Lecro's alone right now, he's calling for help. He might have to die on the site, not much else he can do. They're trying to assist him with utility. Can Lecro get out, or does he want to go in? MP9 up close in the face. His team are jumping through smokes to try and help out, but that's exactly what Eternal Fire want. The chaos is working. Woxic trading, he gets a double. Halzak is still here fighting for the site, and Calyx won't let him get away. 1v3 now for Heap. There's no bomb plant, but there's also no hurry. With this being an exec out of spawn, Eternal Fire can hold a moment and try and figure out where Heap is. Still got to consider the flank. He hasn't fired off yet.
Oh, he got spotted, yeah. Seen by the back quad player, and so it's another situation where they just kind of count it down and swing it together. That's a lovely little B hit, right? Thriving in the chaos where Eternal Fire able to navigate that one super cleanly, considering how hectic that B play got.
Yeah, Woxic doing a really good job trading right now in these T-side rounds, but Dignitas, their money is broken. It should get easier before it gets harder. This is Eternal Fire's time to rise ahead. Halzak scouting above the smoke. He's got a bit of a gap. Hello. Oh, that looked on it. Pot shots through. Double nades for Eternal Fire. At a certain point, Dig might have to give up this ramp. They've dropped a one-way smoke to play in front of. And Eternal Fire are going to go back to what works, it's B site. They've got all the util for it. Again, look at the amount of mollies available. Can clear out so many positions. Lecro is in a very hard spot and tainted by this double nade in like round 2.5, where Eternal Fire bumped Halzak off of Tetris. Lecro is trying to find a new spot that won't be cleared by utility, playing close, but will they pop him?
Oh, yeah, the molly forces him out into the open. They could hear it tagging him. Halzak will reclaim one with the scout, but he's losing teammates. He's losing friends along the way. And he's now finally dealt with. Heap all alone here. The mid-wrap should have him dead to rights. Now, there are a lot of smokes in the way. It's a very smoky situation here. X-Flout, as that fades, he's good for the kill. And so he will solidify that 12th for Eternal Fire.
I love how they wait for him. It's not like he's trying to hunt that kill and drop off of Con and chase. He's just telling his teammates, don't face, just wait, give me 10 seconds and this smoke clears, I get the kill.
It's one of the kind of cool things for me about like Woxic being the guy at the helm is that, you know, he was always like a very relaxed individual, we'll say, right? He was always like pretty like nonchalant with like how he approached things. You know, he'd like rock up and be like, yo, what's good, guys? I'm just going to flick some dudes today, and that's how it's going to be. And, you know, I think when that was working for him, it was a treat. But then obviously we saw him face challenges, you know, not just in his kind of tenure with FaZe, but even looking past that, looking to or Mouse rather, even looking to like the Cloud9 project, which obviously had a pretty abrupt ending,
especially for him.
Yeah, especially for him. But on top of that, it's like the idea of rising to new challenges, and it was cool that he's kind of the guy to offer himself up there. He's had to put a lot of effort into trying to grow this side of him.
Yeah, what a story it would be if he came off of his tumultuous history and became a tier 1 in-game leading AWPing part of a successful roster. Like this is the time where Eternal Fire could make a run. We've been talking about how the results haven't been great. They've been just playing online. They've been mulling about tier 2, tier 3. Like, what if they made a run at the major? What if they qualified and they took some big upsets? Like, how much confidence that's going to give you in your project? And for some of these individuals, especially like a player like xFloud, who hasn't had that taste of success, who's been, touted as the next big thing, played on Gorillas. We all know how that went for everyone involved. And now has come here to a full Turkish team, the Turkish dream team we've been waiting for years to see. Like, what a cool story it would be if Woxic could lead this squad to a run.
I always look at, I always kind of go to like the same name whenever I talk about these examples, but for me, like Apex is such a cool one, right? In the sense of, used to be this like phenomenal star entry player and then completely reinvented himself as an IGL, right? And obviously it worked brilliantly for the longest while in Vitality. Obviously now they do have like the new squad, and with that comes like a tumultuous time of change, something that he spoke about very openly in interviews. But it's super cool, and to envision that Woxic could be trying to go on that same trajectory is sick. Over here at top ramp, all the fights coming up in favor of Eternal Fire. They've taken an early 5-on-3, and they might just look to double down on the A play, right? We've sometimes seen them lean into like trickery in moments like this, late committing into a B play. Instead, they just follow through. I think they've been burned by that in the past.
They also had full ramp, right? They had everything, so there was no worry of a sandbags player or early rotates. They knew with 2 kills that quick, nothing can go wrong. Stick the plant, grimy spot for xFloud to commit in, but 1-for-1 at least off of this position. And when you're up this favorable, that's a round when a Dignitas already know it. They're giving it up, they're checking the flank, and they're saving their guns. Such quick entries up on that A ramp side. And Emor, who farmed all that money in the previous round on the anti-eco, even kept the MAC-10, just ran it right up ramp and got an opening kill. So far more effective ramp take than Dignitas really ever got away with on their T sides. They're a lot slower, trying to let Halzerk pick, and he often did, but they never really looked that clean. Eternal Fire up to 14 rounds now on this T side before Dignitas even gets started.
Yeah, I mean, rounds like that, they just always feel... They always feel lovely because essentially the round was won just based on the success that your entry players had at the top of ramp. That was all the kind of masterminding that went into it. You got 2 kills and that won you the round, essentially. It's like Inferno, but it's Vertigo, a far superior map. So, Woxic in mid with the AWP. Freiburg's trying to get a bit saucy with it, playing around this ramp smoke. Right, that's the big corridor smoke throwing in that normally, you can use to push up behind it. You can try to gain some real estate there. Well, Freiburg's cleared all that, and he's kind of let Dignitas know that it's not the A play, and that Eternal Fire are looking elsewhere. Woxic opens up in middle, besting the scout of Halzerk. And now they start to wrap CT. This is a powerful position for Eternal Fire to own. Lecro, even though he gets that kill there, Zantares is causing chaos in the back line. He's actually teed Eternal Fire up to go A here with these kills. Don't get me wrong, Freiburg's still at ramp. If he wins this fight, he can save the day for Dignitas. It's so hinging on this engagement, and with Freiburg winning it, the bomb's cut loose. Now the alarm bells are going off. Zantares still holding for these rotates off of B, but it's only 1 kill, and so Woxic now needs to deliver in the 1 versus 2.
Oh, the time. Yeah, he can wait the smoke, but it's going to allow Forest to set up with Freiburg. They couldn't convert their last 2v1 together up against xFloud, but Woxic now with an AWP wants those quick 1v1s. Does he? Does he not? It might just be a save. 20 seconds, he runs away. Damn. I really thought Woxic was going to give that a go. Even if Freiburg pushes and dies, there's no time to win the round. And that smoke cancelled him out. That's so awkward as well. Woxic was just a few seconds behind Emor, dropping late out of mid after he opened up onto Halzerg. Meanwhile, Xantares is just deathmatching CT Spawn, killing everyone on either bomb site. But that bomb had no protection, no safety walking up A, and the deep control taken by Freiburg early in the round will win the round.
Yeah, it's a little awkward because, like, you recognize the phenomenal positions Antares is in, and so you just try to capitalize quickly, right? You go, right now, he's got the pressure applied to the A players. He's able to lock out the B rotates. Let's try to go fast. Let's try to get this bomb in towards A. And that's where, one lone Freiburg, all alone on the ramp aggression, was able to win the round just by catching that bomb in rotation. Faster over towards ramp for Eternal Fire this time around. Emor already up at the top of ramp and already swinging this side of the map. Halzerg has dealt with him. Part of me was thinking, just on how fast it was, he might have been able to find a gap there.
Heap had nades out. He was about to kill Heap. If Halzerg doesn't get that kill, that's an opening for Eternal Fire. Instead, Heap makes up for it, delivers a double, ramp down, or bomb down on the ramp now, and running down the ramp are Eternal Fire. Giving it up. Calix is checking the flank, but, this is, safe to say, locked out. Lecker has B stairs. It's where he spent his entire T side half as well. Calix is going to try and re-aggress, but no, it is just a given up round here for Eternal Fire. Decided off the early couple of kills on ramp. Damn. Nice save from Halzerg. Yeah, just being aware of the timing that is that quick for, Eternal Fire to be up top A already. Because they have been very fast at taking this ramp control back and getting set up with smokes. Bit of money to play with in the long run, so they can afford to give this round up. But Dignitas are not done.
You want to know something kind of juicy? I'm going to come at you with a mainstream update here, Hugo. Over on the mainstream, we've got FaZe taking on Vitality. It's Mirage. At the end of the first half, the scores on the doors were 8-7 to FaZe. But as it stands right now, it's 14-14, all tied up, without a clear winner in sight.
Spicy stuff. Got to have two monitors open for a day like this. Full of BO1s. Currently no upsets off of, a massive trajectory. I don't know who was favorite. Mal's OG. OG won that. I think that was kind of a very 50-50 game, right?
So,
anyone could have won it. Definitely. Not a clear favorite, but of all the clear favorites in the first round, all of them won. So I think that's also reassuring. It's also part of the BO1s. No one's going to be uncomfortable. No one's getting a map they don't like, just insta-picked. It's the BO3s where things can get spicy. But yeah, Eternal Fire right now. They know the Dignitas are waking up. 14-11 and the TAC timeout done. Last legs in terms of money as well. They've got a couple of buys here in a row.
Yeah, I think it's kind of interesting that, Woxic kind of calls a relatively safe T side in terms of not afraid to lean into save rounds, right? Not afraid to just write it off if he doesn't like the way it's gone early. It even surprised me, in that 1v2, that he didn't give it a go. Admittedly, the situation was pretty dire, so there is an element that understands. It's more just knowing the player he is. He thought he might have, but maybe trying to change himself up a bit. Reinvent the wheel, reinvent the Woxic. Going to try his hands at an early peek here over towards the top of ramp. Oh, full blinded. Halzerg sets himself up with his own flashbang and then wrecks Woxic on the back of it, even blowing the AWP away with nades.
That is gnarly, isn't it? Yeah, his own flash. I've got to see where that lands. That was beautiful. And Woxic, he held the shot for a moment, but didn't have room to. Try to B-pick. It's your only way to get back into this round in a 4-on-5. Everyone is grouped here for Eternal Fire right now, with the exception of xCloud, who has been tasked with these mid-lurks, but has not been proactive on them unless his team have had success. And so, it's a bit awkward now that Dignitas are using Util to hold Eternal Fire back. xCloud's still holding for aggro he's never going to get in a 4-on-5. And it goes both ways. Safe our Dignitas in mid. Calyx could walk up on this smoke, maybe throw a boost in. But Eternal Fire, not in a hurry. 30 seconds though, they've got to start to speed up. Good flash. Forest fights one, but sees more, and that's great information, meaning xCloud now has to activate. He swung Heat, and he catches him, hearing him jump CT spawn as they set up for a mid to be. 20 seconds, the AWP is trying to cover Freiburg. He will call if that player makes it over, but the B play hasn't happened yet. There might not be time for this. He's dead on the mid play. Emo's dropped as well, and that's the bomb loose. Calyx has nothing to do, and Dignitas hold down solid on this CT side. The comms have been very clean in this second half, and FaZe managed to pull it back and take down Vitality on the A stream, as you see in the top right. You know, reassuring for FaZe. I think we all want them to keep it clean here in the group stage.
Yeah, you know, I think there's always going to be that kind of part of you that up until they usher in like the era and get themselves like a major in the bag, that's where maybe you start to go, all right, we're in the FaZe era now.
Let's knock them down.
There's always that one part of your brain, any FaZe fan will tell you, that goes, man, we look really good right now. And actually that makes you more worried than than if the results weren't there.
All right.
It's like the idea, you know, we haven't had an earthquake for a while, but does that mean we do one any day now?
Oh.
Right, so they're out into middle, Eternal Fire, boosting up Xantares. Hauser gonna have to flick upwards. They see him. Oh, that is a gnarly flick. He couldn't even see Xantares. That is just pure reactions. My, oh my. Lovely way to kickstart this. And Hauser's gonna go forth and find another. This AWP in middle is helped out by Freiburg. Eternal Fire clutching at straws to try and turn around a 2v4 like this. They both group up. They leave the B stairs, and now they find themselves in middle. Looking to try and retrieve these guns, perhaps. They get the AK out of there. They know there's an AWP dropped in mid as well, but going to be hard-pressed to get it. Freiburg's just swinging and winning, and Forest is here to help him close it out. 13 for Dignitas. And Eternal Fire, they're going to have this investment, but if this one doesn't go their way, Dig might find themselves winning this game right at the last hurdle.
Yeah, this is a really good turnaround for Dig right now. And even Eternal Fire are going to have, like, I wonder if they double eco this just because they put AKs in that round and there were some players who caught by nades. I'm not sure if the AWP would be available. It might be considered just because of the scoreline and how close this game has got them. At the same time, you want as many rounds bought as you can. So yeah, they just put a Mac 10 on Xantares. He swaps it back to Woxic. Team player, in-game leader taking the worst weapon. Something you don't always see, especially when you're giving it to your power riflers. And second top of the server right now, Molly is a problem. That might force a commit for Xantares. He's got to run up. No choice about it. He didn't want to take this fight, but he's got to go down with it. Forest wins it, and now it's all going to come crumbling down. A telegraph B play. Lecro up close. Emo's made it onto the wood. Lecro doesn't know, and he's been spotted. Pulling nades right now. Got to be careful. That smoke is down, and somehow Lecro has not been cleaned out. He's going to hop and weave, but the Molly will end his round. 4-on-4, and they might just leave Emo here. But not forever. He drops off, and Eternal Fire want to get weird with it.
If Emo could get one more here, outside of B, you know, if he's able to deal with one of the two defenders, that is going to set Eternal Fire up so nicely. You know, at a bare minimum, he is keeping two bodies over towards this B site, and the kind of third player's leaning towards middle. So there's only one man actually in A right now for Dig. Emo, the fact that he still hasn't found or seen anything yet, he's actually going to call for them to start to rotate back. And this is happening right as Dignitas have doubled down on A.
Forest, dude, he has no idea.
Emo's in. Forest with the swing is only good for one. And now the B site starts to crumble. Still, it's a 2-on-3, right? They lose the A side lurk. The bomb plants come in, but now you've got a player trapped on default. Never ideal, and it's Woxic who's got to try and win this all alone. They just run at him. It's Freiburg, the fearless again. This guy just doesn't feel a sense of endangerment. If there's a fight, he wants to be involved. He wants to be there swinging punches.
Yeah, it's really nice that these players have woken up at the end of the game as well. Like, think about that T side. It was just Letcro. If Letcro was a double peak opening, they weren't winning rounds. And now Freiburg and Forest multi-killing B holds every time. Halzerk's winning his all picks on A consistently. The firepower trio of Dig have stood up tall right when it matters most. That bomb plant is very important, though. It's going to allow a buy. It's going to allow a chance here for Eternal Fire, but they've had many of them and not been able to get these T-side rounds over the line. Five in a row.
It's one hell of a streak, isn't it?
They might just go back for like that flat BXX out of spawn. It was actually really, really nice. It helped that there was no one there but Letcro with an MP9. But, you know, Eternal Fire, as far as win conditions go, A has not been good to them.
Yeah, I think, you know, in a lot of these mid-rounds, you have just kind of been getting out-rotated a lot of the time. And so I do think that, you know, a call from Spawn might feel a little cheesy, but hell, man, it's been working whenever you've tried them. Fast up towards A early on. I like that they don't put all the focus around Woxic being the guy to open. Right, whenever they've had him take a more passive lie with the AWP to try and get these openers, normally he's been bested by Halzerk, because they've got full rifles here, and they've gained a lot of space over towards ramp early. They're also not committed up too far, and this means that this like retake util that Dig throw in doesn't find the impact it was hoping for. Freiburg, they're suspicious about this. The flash wrecks him and Heap at the sandbags, but no one's able to capitalize. This is really nice utility out of Dig to just keep Eternal Fire trapped down the ramp. They still don't have top ramp control yet. And with another molly going back in, that's not going to change anytime soon. They've even re-smoked this one way once more, right? Stops players getting up on the rafters, means they've got to swing it wide. And you've got this angle under the smoke to deal with anyone at ramp.
Oh my god, they're re-aggressing. There's 4 CTs here right now. Everyone's on the bomb site. They don't know. They're all hidden behind the sandbags, but Freiburg still picks up a kill. Can he escape? His teammate couldn't. Heat was committed. Eternal Fire have been given ramp, and they're going to make do with it. Smokes go down. Forest has to pick his side of the site, and right now he is committed.
Yeah, you've got players fighting ahead of the smoke, so a triple short side setup. They are ahead of this utility. Dignitas, it's a thing of beauty. Oh, Woxic tries his best, but Freiburg gonna trade it and puts a stop to the A play. I love that decision. I love how Dignitas played that one there. You see it every now and again, right? When you're getting this A take utility lobbed your way, one of the options, if you don't feel like playing retake, if you don't feel like throwing in those plant nades, is you can, you know, double up on the short side, triple up in this case, and you've got one hell of a force to fight ahead of those smokes.
Yeah, the two T side or CT sides that look so different, right? For Eternal Fire, they were so okay with giving up A and playing those mollies, playing Woxic wallbangs, playing retake rounds. Dig are not giving up A plants since they've hit guns on the CT side. They do whatever they can to constantly re-aggro ramp, flash it back, molly smoke combo like you talked about last round, and just fighting on that short wall. It's been so suffocating. Eternal Fire would love to go back into a post plant with these AKs, but they've not been given the chance, and now B almost feels predictable at this point. Letcro close up, drops some molly. Even hearing ticks here is big info, and the boost is always scary. Free smoke comes in for a one-way, not going to let Eternal Fire get up B for free. And they're hesitating, they're holding on. X-Floud up in ladder, trying to sell something over on A, but Dig have read this one like a book. Look at the setup. 3 in the B site right now. 1 AWP deep peeking A ramp. With all that info for Halzerk, yeah, the best weapon's in the wrong place, but it's allowed Dig to play stacked in the bomb site, and Eternal Fire are running in with flashes.
Oh, but a missed chance at the opener for Forest. Freiburg has brought it back into a 4-on-4. It's all hinging on the B play for Eternal Fire. Calyx dead on the swing. Oh no, it started to get out of hand. Letcro's here, holding the line, but only good for 1. Freiburg, the trade king, looking to pull up, looking to come in with kills. Heaps nade. Brings it back to Dignitas' favor. Emo, they know about him, but he's still going to take the head off of Freiburg. Halzerg left in this one. 1 versus 2. They're wide on the site and a missed shot. They're running at him. Oh my God, the Glock's out. And Emo's going to close it with a Glock. We're going to overtime. Yes. We're running it back again. Eternal Fire finds success with the B play.
6 in a row for Dig, and finally Eternal Fire just go, screw these executes, screw announcing our play, let's just run in with a flash. That was all they threw to get into that B site initially. The smokes landed late. They just run in, get that entry onto Forest. The first time they've gone 5 or 4 up on B, and even though the nades are really nice for Dig, it's not enough. Pop-off round for Emor and Woxic, about time on the T side, and to think that Emor ran him down with a Glock on full health, madness, but it worked. We go again. Once we hit overtime, you know, regulation goes out the window. Rules go out the window. So I can't wait to see what Eternal Fire are going to try and craft up now on this T side. They've got a far better understanding of how Dig have been playing this A defense. Dig start 3A. Very standard. Heat looking to take a deep peek. He's even got the orb. There'll be a missed shot early. Dig know no one made it up the short side. They swap guns out. And they wait for Eternal Fire to fight back.
Woxic's still here, and he's going to try, I was going to say maybe get revenge on Halzerg. He lined up a flash of his own, but doesn't elect to peek on the back of it, instead taking a very passive line in for the ramp fight. It's not been unheard of to have Dignitas aggression down the ramp. That was how Freiburg won that like weird little 3v3 where he dropped the bomb solo ramp. Flashing retro in. They do like doing this, man. If it goes quiet at B and then they start to hear, you know, nades getting set up in the mid round, they will just flash and fight you at the bottom of stairs. Forest's been mollied, but it's not the commit for Eternal Fire. Once again, they're just kind of, you know, showing their hand at ramp, leaning back towards B, and now looking to mix it up in the final, you know, 40 seconds of play. They lean back towards ramp. Halzerg, 1 kill here would be lovely. Little run boost up and over. And Halzerg now knows the full extent of what's coming his way. At least having the AWP posted is this early warning system for Dignitas. They're pulling bodies over, keeps playing up on top of default, looking for fights at ramp, and it's a double for Heap. Bomb dropped out in the open. Calix doing what he can to reclaim this ground at A, but he's lost Woxic on short, and now all alone, 1v3, he needs to plant, and they're just not going to give him the room. Dignitas, lovely little hold. Lovely rotations, and all of it coming off the info that Halzerg is able to get down ramp with that AWP.
Yeah, something's never changed, Harry. Dig just don't want to play a retake round. They do not want to give up a bomb plant on this A site. Over the top with 10 seconds for Heap, and it looks so nice. Halzerg, he even just ran back to commit short. Like, it's just the polar opposite to what Eternal Fire were doing on their CT side, but it's even more effective, it feels like. Just uncomfortable for Eternal Fire. Their smokes mean nothing to Dig. And a third pause coming through for the Turkish side, trying to figure out a way to break this one open. Fraggers might be there, but the game plan for Dig is clear as day. Emor's bordering 30. Don't have anywhere near the same numbers on Dig, but doesn't seem to hold them back, does it? Another very short smoke, but only X-Filed setting the precedent. They will go for a mid-take. Xantares, remember that one round he got in CT spawn? They've done that a couple of times with different players. It's been nice, but this time the orb's here finally. Good way to bait the shot for Xantares. That's really, really nice. Gets the info. It will mean Eternal Fire's game plan's kind of kaput. They can't commit middle now. But that's fine. They've got the info on the AWP, and that only assures them that A is the object of their desires.
Yes.
Yes.
Emor's creeping up. Molly slowing them down again. Dignitas always having a little trick up their sleeve to try and slow these pushes for Eternal Fire. They've been very, very good at disrupting the game plan. Heap off Off the angle now, is getting pushed on short. Zantares moving in, hits the timing.
Oh,
Heat was not ready for that. Zantares peak meets Heat peak on short, and Zantares is able to win it. A man advantage now that goes untraded.
Wow.
Zantares with a double. Can he make it a third? No, he's run down. Freiburg catches him on the knife pull, and Halzerk's running the smoke.
Again?
Looking to fight for the site. The AWP, good for the first kill. Now roasting in the Molotov, tries to drop a second as he burns. Cannot find it. It's all on Lekro. The bomb actually went back down ramp to play around these nades in the on the plant spot. There weren't any to come in, and now they've just got to commit to this together. Woxic will nail him with the AWP. That's more like it. Eternal Fire come in with a 16th round.
They finally figured it out. Win that short control, right? Get round on this wrap. Dignitas can't play wall if you take it back from them. And Zantares, he is the man for the job. Double entry. Looks silly with a knife out, but he's scared of an AWP on the boost. So he's trying to, again, as he baited the shot mid, trying to get it out of Halzerk again. Doesn't matter. Gets run down, but Eternal Fire are there to piece the round together. They go 1-1 here in overtime. Final one of this half. Whoever wins T-side is going to be sitting very pretty. Or if Eternal Fire win 2-1 T-side, they're going to be sitting pretty because it's been the harder half of the two in this map. Let's see if they can do it. Finally broke that curse, broke that streak. Boost up in mid, Freiburg. He's very in the open right now. He has no idea what's about to peak him. As Zantares peak, you don't like it. You love it.
I love that we got to see it from Freiburg's POV.
Yeah.
They're the most fun ways to see a Zantares peak.
They got spawn again?
Yeah, they've taken CT away, and I mean, this just causes so many problems, so many issues. You cannot rotate now. You were just stuck in your spots in this like 2-2 setup between
Nice
A and
chase.
B. Trying to hound down the CT players. The Molly will deny it. Lekro and Forest, they've got to hold this off. They are essentially all alone. There's no reinforcements. There's no cavalry. And so Lekro fighting tooth and nail to hold on to this B site. Oh, that's the bomb coming in late through main. They're chasing Lekro down, and they will get the better of him eventually. Zantares holding for the rotates. And the fact that they are able to flush out Lekro, they're patient with it. They don't flounder the execution. They come up with 17 rounds now. Lovely stuff for Zantares, coming alive once we've hit overtime.
Yeah, he really has, hasn't he? 4 kills in that one. And every time they got that mid pick, they didn't always get it on the T side in reg, but when they did, you see how decisive the read is for Eternal Fire. They immediately run spawn with an Ellie smoke, and they know the dig setup. They know how much room they have, and look at what they do with it. This time, the bomb is solo. We saw that loser round in regulation as well for Eternal Fire, but Woxic just baits. He waits for xFlower to drop in from the top, and that is such a nice round for Eternal Fire on the mid to be. 17-16, Dig though, can't count them out. They came alive in the late game in this map. Felt like it was going to be a one-sided performance, but they held strong. Gotta see Halzerk, as good as he looks in those glasses, needs to be looking down the scope and finding this opening pick on ramp now. Freiburg's defaulting B. It was off on Lekro solo, so a bit more support this time. Maybe that implies they'll be coming back to it in the late round. Halzerk's looking for the peak over the top of the smoke, but no one's there to fight him. Oh, there's a gap in yellow. He almost saw something. Going back to safety is Calyx. And I want to see if Eternal Fire continue their same CT dominance in giving up plants on A, in delaying these executes with Molotovs, with nades. It seems like already they've just made that call. They've decided to give up the A site and play very passive. It's going to give Dig a nice amount of space for free as they silently walk up ramp. Nades are being traded so Zantares can set up util. Phase smoke perhaps going back in. Dig are at least announcing their presence. They know Zantares loved sandbags in regulation. So they've got to be careful. Re-smokes, re-mollies, delay players back. Nice grenade.
Yeah, there's still 2 Molotovs and a nade in play for Eternal Fire. And so the longer this round takes, the more valuable that utility becomes. the more likely that utility is to just win you the round straight up. And the fact that Dignitas, they've gone quiet here. They're trying to give the illusion that, oh, guys, we've left ramp. We're not here. Look, you can even boost. You can even check it. Nobody's here. And now they look to go. But with 20 seconds, the value, the implicit value behind this Molotov, behind this nade is insane for Woxic. It could win the round single-handedly. Eternal Fire need to get it in position, and Woxic's going to lob it in now, along with the nade.
Oh, no!
Oh, it's extinguished by the smoke! That's a bit of a disaster. It's gone a little wrong here. The molly could have saved the round, but a smoke's put it out, so the retake has to come through, and Calix is nailing them on these openers. Forest and Halzerk, 2 versus 3, bomb planted, out in the open, ready for Halzerk to try and quell it from ramp, to try and deal with this retake, but he is bested. Forest dead as well, and Eternal Fire, they might not be able to stop that bomb going down, but they stop the bomb going off.
Yeah, they still just commit with the call, which is go through the smokes, right? If the molly lands, they're doing the same thing. They're running through. They're just trying to cause commotion. They know with 10, 15 seconds on the clock, a couple of well-placed kills can win the round, and they get it after the plant anyway. A little worrying. Woxic is throwing a different lineup to the more standard one. He's throwing a jump throw, and it falls a little short there. The default one would have worked, but it covers less of the site plant. That's supposed to stop, like, a ratty plant on the right side as well. Still doesn't matter. They win it. And Eternal Fire, map point now. A chance to close. They couldn't get it in reg. They were the ones fighting back from 15-14 with a force buy. But now it's their chance to shut out this series and push Dig down 0-2 in the EU RMR. Let's see if they can do it, though. Nothing is guaranteed, but these CT sides have been really, really nice all game long.
Oh, all right. B-side opener for Lekro. That is a bit of a signature move for him at this point, right? In regulation, it always felt like if Lekro multi-killed, if he was kind of in with a double, there was a chance for Dignitas. Here, he gets the opener for the team. Gonna go untraded as well. There's aggro down towards a ramp. Xantares gonna get caught out on a little island, and even though the molly will burn Heap out after the fact, it's still looking so good for Dig. There's the multi-kill for Lekro. There's the double up over towards B, and this is so often the winning recipe. Woxic would need to go on a real tear here if Eternal Fire want to turn it around, and with that first shot missing, with his teammate cut down in middle, it's all starting to fall apart. Woxic alone, 1 versus 4, another opportunity just sails by, and the bomb is even going back to A. He's dead if he tries to rotate through middle. Forest should have him here. The penny's going to drop eventually. Oh dear.
Nice shot.
Woxic's good for that one.
Does he even know?
He's realized now, it's dawned on him.
Oh.
Going back in for that final fight is where Lekro seals the deal.
Yeah, you just saw how close that was. A little prayer at the end of the round as Dignitas keep it together and fight for one more overtime. Got to reset the clock again. Lekro, I mean, both players feed him, right? One's a spawn cross, and Lekro gets flashed in to make that play happen. But then the re-aggression in a 3-on-5 after Xantares dies on A, it's just a call out of desperation, right? We've already lost that A site. We may as well just try and set up a flank. But Lekro, we saw in reg how much he would just sit under these stairs and wait for kills to come to him. 18-17. Xantares has had a hell of a game here. 34 kills deep already. Might not be done, not with shots like that. Finally, Halzerk picking Woxic on ramp. Fight we haven't had often. Looking through the yellow gap. But Calix is not going to re-aggress. He'll give it up, go back to the site with Xantares. A duo as old as time in Turkish CS. And even joined by Emor. Man often left on the edge, on the fringe of Space Soldiers. going to regress. They're going to get all this info that A is clear, but it might not matter. It might not make a damn difference as Dignitas poise for a pop into the B bomb site. Even xCloud is checking middle, paranoid about his flank with no teammates to support, and it might have to be a retake round. They can catch Freiburg here. That's nice. A big clear sends xCloud back to B, but he needs a multi-kill or this one's a retake.
Yeah, he's going to try and swing out. He gets one. That's honestly enough. He wanted to leave there. He didn't want to die to Forest. He was trying to get out of the site and set up to play 4-on-3. With him now falling, it's even odds. Molly starts to rain in. The smoke on Halzerk's quick to extinguish, giving him more room, giving him a chance. He needs to get out because Calix has gone super deep around this smoke and they've got no idea. Halzerk back in with the swing, has left it all to Xantares. Eternal Fire, it's on the line. Victory relies on this 1v2. Otherwise, we run it back again. Xantares in with the first. Just Forest left to find. He's concealed himself. He's tucked away. Xantares goes hunting, but Forest nails the shot, nails the clutch, and we go to double overtime.
That one hurts for Xantares. He had a smoke kit. He could have gotten weird with it, but you don't want to be caught with Nate out in a 1v1 for the game. He was so paranoid of the smoke, man. So scared. But if he smoke taps that bomb, suddenly it's a force from Forest. He's got to run at him. Really nice try on the 1v2, but Dignitas, they just keep holding on. The spam through the smoke from Forest as well not only kills that escaping xCloud, but then he closes it in the clutch. This is such an exciting game. And no clear victor in sight with the scoreline reset.
That trade really is kind of the swing kill in the round, right? You imagine if that was a 4-on-3 retake with the kind of, with how close it came anyway, with it coming down to this 1v1 clutch, with there still being utility on guys like Xantares, the molly that forced Halzerk into a horrible engagement, would have just been such a different story if Forest didn't bring it back to a 3-on-3 in the first place.
Yeah.
And then he even has the goal to win the 1v1 to take us to another overtime.
I mean, Forest, how long has he kept at the top of the game?
Dude,
Maybe not in terms of team, but individually, he's forever been the guy to rely on in Dig.
Literally defies human nature, does Forest. It's so peculiar. HLTV did just release that article about, kind of peak ages in Counter-Strike. And he was one of the consistent, kind of guys who very much bucked the trend, was a bit of a abnormality in the day, a bit of an anomaly.
Yeah, even older than Carrigan. Carrigan 32, Forest 33. Keeps that question going. And you can never count him out. Here we go. Running it back. Micro looking for the B picks. It's nothing new here on this T side. Eternal Fire a little more committed. xCloud hiding back quad. Emor trying to bait for him on default. It's more, more players at B the better, because when we've had the solo B, Dignitas have been exploiting it. Lekro drops his own one-way into their one-way that will last longer. Even just a few seconds at the end to look for a pick could be nice. They can also boost up. They like that. Freiburg blind.
Oh my
Catches
God.
Xantares re-aggressing on the ramp side, and that's made Eternal Fire panic again, leaving a lone B player, and he's not for long. Emor now throwing himself into the round. Nice spray. Can he get a third? No. Forest trades, and we know he can. 2-on-3 now. Halzerk's picked out a rotate. He will get followed up onto Calix with a clutch, perhaps. A 1v1, and a long way away is Freiburg. Calix has read it. He's sticking the defuse. He's won the round. 19 on this B site, as Freiburg is too late to the site. 3 kills at the end for Calix, and what a speedy clutch.
That was a thing of beauty, man. You know that Freiburg is so out of position that temporarily you got a 1v2 over towards B. You've got a window where Forest is planting the bomb, and so you're able to wide swing Halzerk. You're able to take that first 1v1, then the second onto Forest, and you never even had to worry about Freiburg. The bomb wasn't planted for him.
Yeah, he didn't even know what side he was coming from. He was scared of both ramp and CT. But he made the call, and he stuck it, and is the right one. Another opening CT round. But hey, in OTs, in the last one, we had 2T per team. There were only 6 of them in reg. Freiburg tagged up, perhaps by this AWP. I didn't see where, but... Oh, close for Calix. He will hold on. Dignitas is silent walking up this A ramp once again. Eternal Fire still having chock full of util, nades and mollies to stop a bomb plant, but Calyx right now is committed in this position. Woxic is AWPing on sandbags in the smoke. Dignitas have got to flush him out. They do have a nade and a couple of mollies for this play. Calyx flashing his AWPer out of position, trying to save him, but he looks into it. Woxic's blind, can't make the play happen. Halzuk's holding the headshot angle. He's trying to shoot him underneath it. He hits it. Molly will do it. Lovely pick for Halzuk, but the nade gets its response.
Yeah, exec util coming in. xFloud is pushed through the B site while all this is happening.
Wow.
And Calyx doubles up on short. Very, very clean with the AK. And still hungry for more. Forest cannot trade that. Calyx having an incredible round is on for the ace. Looking back at Lekro, and he's going to lock in all 5. That there is a round for Eternal Fire, spearheaded by just one man.
Dude, it's so nice seeing Xantares and Calyx look this crispy on LAN, Harry. It's been full of headshots today. You can't doubt it. Even when maybe some of the AWP rounds haven't gone to plan, you can rely on the rifles. God, he's so fast. All headshots, baby. Gotta love it. And that's 2 on CT now. Flip script. And one more chance for Eternal Fire if they want to run away with a flawless half. Tech before we get there. Halzuk's even on a scout with double rounds in a row and only 1 bomb plant. Dig don't even have the money for the AWP to continue. I feel like they would have if someone else bought it, like Forest, but maybe his investment was super quick. Because you can always get dropped over nades. That's the value of that as well. It's not like, you know, when you're buying your teammate an AWP and then you know, they have all the nades on the AWP and it's super awkward. No, you can drop that over. You can have that option. But Dignitas, this one's getting a little bit scary now with a clean CT side staring down the barrel.
Yeah, I mean, it's starting to get pretty worrisome, right? Especially because, you know, when we kind of hit overtime, first player to really get activated for Eternal Fire, the first guy to really get switched on was very much Xantares, right? Who had those kind of back-to-back multi-kill rounds to start to make this all look doable. Now we've had Calyx pull up with an ace, starting to find his footing. Also the 1v3 prior to that, you know, like we're starting to get the mileage from all these stars of Eternal Fire.
Yeah, you see that those numbers aren't great for Freiburg right now. He's 2 and 10 in those opening duels, so often been dead first. A lot of that coming from the T side. He was the guy making those like reckless hero plays, getting up through the short smoke really, really quick. And you know, maybe the kills haven't come through in that sense, but he did get his team a lot of space on the A site to run their execute in reg. We're not in regulation anymore, though. One more round for Eternal Fire would poise them perfectly to shut out this series. Can they do it?
Early B lean. Freiburg starting to walk his way up while Heap is still just holding this ramp area. Looking like him and Lekro want to try and employ this boost. This had like kind of mixed, it was like a mixed bag of results, we'll call it, for Dignitas.
I like it.
And Lekro gets himself up. xFloud tucked in over at the back of quad. He's getting walked on. He's getting walked and is now, you know, quick switching. He's got no idea. Lekro shoots him up the side of the head and now calls for these rotations. Double kill from Lekro's fast play into the B site. He's going to try and run it in, going to try and run it further. And he's got himself 3. So often multi-killing was needed from this guy to find rounds for Dig. And I mean, it's all been encapsulated in this one to try get them 1 T-side round. In this second overtime, smoke fades, they deal with Lekro, a 2-on-3. Calyx and Woxic left up in this one. And this is a Calyx who is switched on. This is a Calyx who is feeling it, coming off the back of an ace. Now in with a chance at this clutch. He's got Woxic moving in behind him. 2 to the good already. Heap and Halzuk tucked in, trying to play around the bomb, trying to play around the defuse. They're on it, and there's the swing. Halzuk's the Eagle delivers. doesn't let them sneak that one out from under the nose of Dignitas.
Yeah, I had to do right by Lekro in that round. I love how quick he is at taking that B space. Often you'll sit on that boost for 15, 20 seconds and not get seen. And as soon as you get spotted, they just won't re-peek the angle. It's so favorable for T's. So Lekro just immediately climbs up. X-File has no idea, waiting for some info. How many of these B plays have been executed? Loud, smokes, mollies, flashes going over. That's the first contact B we've seen this entire game. And X-File just not ready for it. Nice D work for Halzuk, who couldn't have that AWP in that round. Well, now it's back in his palms. One round on the T side for Dig, more akin to regulation. Still closable in this half as well. They've just got to get flawless. Eternal Fire's T side, and hopefully we have this A-ramp pick fight between Woxic and Halzuk. Woxic will be sending it with a very late spawn, flashing his team up quick. Eternal Fire, change of pace, trying to charge down this AWP. They won't be able to. And you see the immediate back off of ramp is due to the util that Dignitas use here. They're often remollying, re-smoking a one-way on the top of the sandbags and keeping up pressure. Even this flash, you don't know which one of these flashes comes with 3 CTs running you down. So Eternal Fire have to be very cautious here. It feels like they're going for it. Woxic's ready. Can he get the shot before the flash pops?
Oh yeah, missed shot for Emo Zorp, right? Got thrown it because he's low on health. Rest of the gang coming back, but they've lost this AWP. They do at least deal with Halzuk, just caught out in the open, right? It's this double up on short again for Dignitas. This has been their go-to attempt at answering the A-side execute. As a result, though, Eternal Fire, they should be considering this.
They're pushing it.
They're actually going to try and take short aggro. They're going to start to push in. Nades are out right now.
Dear.
Good timing on this push. There's more. There's more players there. And the trade has come out for X-Cloud. Second man in Freiburg will rise to the occasion. And they know they've got him trapped on short, but it goes both ways. He doesn't need to overextend here. Doesn't need to get caught peeking. They try to run Freiburg down, and they can't get past him. Freiburg, hell of a round, and Dignitas tie this up at 2020.
It's so confusing to me why Eternal Fire never takes short on these AXX. Xantares, remember that one round where he's entering it and he's like triple killing out through short, killing the AWPers? I mean, it's insane. Eternal Fire need to clear that position.
Is the thing though, Hugo, they did try to take short, but you know what happened? They got pop flashed, Dignitas did, they got pop flashed into the ramp fight, and that triggered all the short players to turn back around, to try and help out, to try and deal with this ramp aggression. And so it threw all the timings through a loop. And if anything, I think the credit has to go to Dig for taking that aggro at the top of ramp and then late committing to short. Yeah, it was the order in which they did it that was so important, right?
Yeah, it's just like coming down to all these A executes we've seen. You know, think about how many rounds, especially in that first, or sorry, in the second half of Ray, when Dig were playing double, triple wall, and the amount of smoke pushes they've done, and how they never let Eternal Fire get comfortable and plant the bomb on the A site. Right, because we talked about the opposing CT sides and the way they were playing it. The one way to get rid of that is to take short back, is to clear the wall in the first place. They're trying to clear it from sight, but Dignitas are just never relaxing on these A-holds. So, I don't know, I think we need to see short get taken on this next A play for Eternal Fire. The 1 or 2 times they've done it, they've won the rounds. Obviously, that call is so good for Dig, and that's not been what they've done every time, but it couldn't have come at a better point. No one even looking.
Yeah, no, I mean, here's the thing. I'm super inclined to agree with you about this taking short idea. I just think it was like masterminded by Dig in that one round right there.
But even in general, when they've gotten smokes in, they've it's Forest or Freiburg sitting on the wall towards yellow, double, triple killing, as Calix did in his CT side. So, obviously a tech issue going on here for the side of Eternal Fire. We'll be waiting for that one just quickly. But we are deep into this map, Harry. The other games have already started. Yeah. Heroic Fnatic are going down on the A stream
10 rounds
right now.
in, mate.
Yeah. Going for it. They had a 16-14 as well. That's obviously on the A stream right now if you are interested in the, Scandi Derby. Derby. It's both.
I say Derby.
Yeah,
I say Derby.
I say both.
Derby.
Depends on my mood.
That's the thing about the Scandi Derby. They love it. They love a donkey derby. Did you have them where you were, Hugo? When you were a kid?
What's that?
The donkey derby. or Derby.
I have no idea what that is.
It was just like a little fair, basically, that
Okay.
had some donkeys at it.
Donkeys. Oh, you were saying donkey.
Yeah.
Ah.
Donkey Derby.
Come give the donkey a bath.
No, you didn't
Pin
get
the
to
tail on the
you didn't
donkey.
get to bath them, but you did. You could ride them.
Ever ridden a donkey, Harry?
No.
Too scary?
No, it's just like, I think there's kind of cooler land mammals to ride, like kangaroos, for example.
Kangaroos, yeah. You would fit in his pouch, a big kangaroo, squeeze up, come out all juicy.
That's my favorite part, right? The
delicious.
kangaroo juice. You know, no one talks about it, but very flavorful.
Yeah.
And it kind
Forbidden fruit of
yeah.
Australia, they call it, I think. Sickly.
If you could spend a day with, I think it's like
Careful.
like birth juice, essentially.
juice,
You know, that's how I'll put it. So, Hugo, you know, what animal would you spend the day with if you could spend your day with one?
I already spent my day with a bit of an ape. You.
Oh, me.
Yeah. Every day. It's great. It's great fun. I don't know. I don't really have a good answer to that. Kangaroos are cool. I'll give you that. They box, man.
Yeah, I like that. That's why I want to hang out with one. Like, I need a sparring partner.
Am I not up for the job?
No, you're not, Hugo.
My pouch is way smaller.
But it is slimier. Slime
Thank
pouch.
you. No one's ever said that before.
You can fund it now. We're crowdfunding investors, actually.
Oh.
Elon tried to get on board, but of course they just tried to buy the whole company.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah. So I'm cashing out. Anyway, it's a good time to be me.
God, it's not a good time to be Eternal Fire. No one wants to crash 40 rounds into a game.
Just a casual 40 rounds in.
Yeah, you know. Got other games to play, guys. Come on. Up next, of course, on this B stream, we do have Forza taking on Gamer Legion.
That's pretty cool, yeah.
Jerry fans? Any Jerry fans in the house?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
There's
pretty delayed.
Sorry, I forgot that there's no one else actually in this room
Yeah, it's
with
just
us.
me and you.
It is just us. So when you
Yeah.
ask a question like that, the kind of societal contract that we've signed is that I have to reply.
Yes, and I know you're a Jerry fan. It was a poised question for you.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited as well to see how Shalfie and Norway do.
Yeah.
I haven't actually really seen them in this squad yet since they moved in, so that's pretty exciting. For Gamer Legion, excited to see Zero back in the server. That's
it's been
pretty
a
cool,
while,
right? That is
yeah.
pretty cool.
Was it Zero who recently released the audio fix, so you don't get deafened? Maybe something you should look into. You don't get deafened
Yeah,
by
for
their,
flashbangs.
Yeah, and also the headshot animation or the headshot noise, especially getting gooshed or dinked, as they call it. I like those words. Those are onomatopoeias, Harry.
I think it was also Zero who has that really just insane clip of, I'm pretty sure it is him.
Okay, go on.
On Nuke, he lags out going up the ladder from T-spawn, and he just freezes on the ladder, and then the game like catches up and he stops being lagged out, and he's in secret while his team have done outside smokes. Somehow he just ran that whole way from lagging out. It's actually kind of remarkable.
Yeah, Zero's it's a good name to have. Like back in the server, not just because the name's cool, but it's been a while.
It has been, yeah.
Talking of players that I want to see, what's Issa doing nowadays? He was in this Eternal Fire team, remember? Like they were trying to accommodate him. Obviously, the language is a problem. Like when you're playing majority Turk, Issa being from Jordan. That made it very difficult. I hope Issa comes back. I hope we get to see him somewhere, sometime, someplace. Obviously, the brother of Woxic in his time together, many years. Made a stint over in OG. And also talking of players that disappeared, someone I've been hyping up all day today, and everyone keeps going to me, who is he? Is Mini the substitute on the roster for Eternal Fire? When we're talking old space soldiers and old Turkish players and how we always wanted Woxic in this team or some conglomerate of this of this core of Xantaras, Calyx and Woxic, Mini was often that player on the backbone. He was on Dark Passage. He was sitting around waiting, and he actually he disappeared. He was a really young player as well. I think he's only like 21, 22 now, but this was 5 years ago. He was the next big thing. We never got to see him really go anywhere, and actually during the entire pandemic, he disappeared. He didn't play any officials in 2020, 2021, and now he's back on the substitute list for Eternal Fire in 22. You know, obviously, I like this core of Eternal Fire. I don't want to see anyone removed, and that's a shame to see Mini on the sub bench of it. But I also want to see this guy play. It's been a while. I mean, he's a talent.
I'm convinced if you kind of have the letters M-I-N or just M-I, you know, in your name, you do get kind of in those spots, because famously, you know, there was obviously Mini with like Turkish Counter-Strike, then you had like Manice and Mihu with like Polish Counter-Strike. Yeah. These guys who had like promising, you know, kind of futures ahead of them, but didn't have the chances to actually like rise through the rankings till far later on, when arguably, you know, they weren't necessarily like on that same level of hype anymore. Yeah, Mini kind of fits into that category as well. So always cursed.
Yeah.
If you have an MI in your name, just change it. Just change it.
Big player for a Mini name, but yeah, definitely someone who, if worse comes to worse, and there's a player out on this Eternal Fire team, I definitely will be keeping my eye on any matches he plays. Always been a Mini stand me, but might never know, might never see. Especially considering he might be a bit rusty now. And I'm not talking a game allegiance still, just because it's been a couple of years. But yeah, Issa, Mini. These are the boys. These are the guys. I want to see more of them.
Yeah, I mean, it would also be pretty cool to see a bit more of this matchup at hand.
That would help.
Right? You know, I mean, I get it. You're trying to shill. You're trying to get Mini in here. You're trying to say, like, look, if whoever's disconnected is having issues, bring the sub on. I'll make do. So, Hugo, do you have any hot takes this event?
Nah, not really.
No?
Nah.
Oh, okay. That comes as a surprise to me.
None that I'm willing to put my mouth on.
I've heard some scolding takes from you, bro.
Nothing I would publicize. I have some hot takes. Deep down.
Hot takes, okay.
Yeah. But
well, okay, let's go over some of the matches. So obviously we just had FaZe take down Vitality 16-14. You know, what are your kind of thoughts there? You know, it's pretty cool for FaZe.
Oh, yeah, we kind of mentioned that. I'm glad to see FaZe. We all want to see FaZe go 3-0. We all want to see, you know, them just running away after their previous performances, especially considering how hard it is to stay at the top. We know that for pretty much every team, you know, except Astralis. It's very hard to stay there. Na'Vi obviously had a good amount of time as number one as well, but, you know, once you get there, everyone says it's harder staying there because you're the team that's getting looked to. You're the team that everyone's trying to knock down and learn from. So, yeah, good to. I just hope FaZe keep it up and stay on this momentum moving forward in this year. You know, Vitality, hoping to see them perform. Little worried about their previous performances in recent times, but as we alluded to in that curse video we made back at Pro League, you know, I can't remember where I was going with this point, but. You know, they've had time since Katowice. Yeah. They should be fine.
And, you know, I do kind of, with that team, everyone from day one was like, we're probably not going to just come in and like be incredible right away. There will be a big growing pain here.
Yeah.
You know, there is kind of just fundamental differences with how the Danes from Astralis played Counter-Strike when contrasted to how, you know, the Frenchman with Apex at the helm played
Even the language changes are so big for someone like Zaiwu, who we know, like, you know, he's never played on a team speaking English. All his teams have been French. So, you know, how does that affect him as an individual? I think there's a lot of questions that hopefully we're going to get answers to. You know, over the course of this event, over the course of this RMR. Harry, I want to ask you some questions. Out of the teams in, you know, the European RMR in A, are there any, you know, do you have a dark horse that shouldn't go through but you think will, or do you have an expected team to go through that you don't think will? Do you have any upsets for me?
Yeah, you know what?
Yeah?
I think... And it kind of pains me to say it, and obviously it's all very matchup dependent. I would go as far to say, like, I could envision a world where Vitality actually don't make it through.
That's bold, Harry.
That's pretty bold.
That's pretty bold. I can't believe you'd say that.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's kind of very, very hard to quantify where this team is actually at because so much is having to change because, you know, there's such a sweeping array of, like, developments that are having to come through for them to actually reach their final form. And they had a pretty good outing versus FaZe. I got to give it to them. 14-16, like you can't turn your nose up at that. But it's like, you know, if I were to look at someone and I were to say, yeah, maybe they could have problems, and they're a team that you would envision should definitely be making it, they would be my team for that.
Yeah, safe bet, given some of the top rosters we've seen here. What do you think of Fnatic right now as well? Because obviously, you know, no longer British core, Pepzor, Poison.
So Fnatic's kind of actually pretty interesting to me now. You know, you have like this kind of mix of new and old faces. I think a lot of attention is going to go on to 3 players for my money. Poison, firstly, I think needs to keep up some of the phenomenal performances he gave us back at like Pro League, for example. He was just lights out. And so if he can be that player on a more regular basis, that's super cool. Crims as the other one, right? He's normally a bit of a rock, but you need to see him put up some numbers. And then Mezzy as well. I think with someone like Pepzor, he's not really in the team to be this like crazy fragger, going to be more of a supportive element, right? Obviously, was a part of the Fnatic Academy team, Fnatic Rising.
Yeah.
So, you know, he's kind of bridging that gap. He's embarking on a journey that other players have gone upon themselves. And, you know, we've seen actually a good deal of successes from Academy players moving and transitioning into Tier 1 Counter-Strike. So it would be cool if he can do that.
Even Mal's right now bringing in another guy up from Mal's NXT in JDC, who just joined about a month ago now to, you know, join along Torshi, who was incredible in the games we've seen out of him, especially back at Kato when they had, you know, JDC playing over BMAS couldn't make it. Now they're together. Also reassuring that BMAS had a really good Pro League run. Despite, you know, Mal's not making a run as a team, he was individually very good. Because I think a lot of people, you know, you see him leave for one event, you see JDC perform as well as he did. A lot of people are out for BMAS's head no longer. But yeah, there's a lot of reasons to be excited about the RMRs here in Europe. Remember, folks, there are 2 European RMRs, right? We have, obviously, this one going over the course of the next few days. We have 16 more teams rocking up in about a week, or even less than 4 days, to see who will be getting those other spots. You know, rosters.
I'm sorry, I didn't want to cut you. I think it actually completely cut you
I know
off.
what you're going to ask, and before you ask it, I'll talk about some of the teams. I'll list some of the teams there, and then you ask.
Okay, go on then.
I was just going to say some of the big names there: G2, Players, Nip, Entropic. Ents, obviously, with their recent Pro League performance. Astralis, a lot of question marks on that team. And then you have some of the underdogs, some of the surprise entries from Open Qualifiers. You have Endpoint. You have, Bad News Eagles. That's what I want to see. Sangal, now that we're, you know, talking Turkish teams. Obviously not a Turkish team, but, you know, has been in the past. Only Soulfly there from Turkey. I know we have a lot of... And Tugux, of course, the German. But we've had a lot of Turkish appearances, which is nice. And hopefully we have Eternal Fire appearing soon, back with this game against Dig. Sorry for the delay, folks. Tech issues are rife, but they're always going to happen. And a reminder, it's 2020 on the score, not 19. That will be getting refreshed once everyone's ready to go.
Okay, so
big update.
This is kind of interesting and something I've never heard before, but we're just going to run with it. We're restoring the score to 20-19 as the T's, so Eternal Fire, had no
C4.
Had no bomb.
No bomb.
No bomb. It just didn't spawn.
What happened last round? It was so long ago. I'm trying to think.
I don't know. We just kind of been going on this little podcast mode about the whole.
Where did they go? What happened? Who won? That's crazy. No bomb. I've seen that bug like once or twice in my life, but I didn't notice it in that round at all. No bomb. I guess they tried to frag out, but I'm really trying to recall that last round. Freiburg got 4 kills.
Oh, when he pushed short, right? That was it.
Ah, yes.
And so that would make sense why everything got like super weird in like once they had like the early fight over towards Ram.
They must not have noticed until the round was
like they
deep.
got to site and they go, guys, where's bomb?
Someone get the demo and tweet it at us because I want to see what happened to the bomb. Did it get thrown into a bug spot? Did it never spawn in the first place? Did they drop it somewhere? Obviously, if you throw the bomb off the map in this in a map like Vertigo, it usually respawns. But maybe it got stuck down the elevator hallway.
So peculiar. Yeah.
Someone get in the demo after this game and let us know.
Woxic and his team, man, they're all about spreading love. He's like, I don't need any sort of weapons, man. We're not going into the round with that.
Oh, that's super awkward because
so
Frybug had a
peculiar.
pop-off round as well, right? He got 4 kills on A short. Yeah, I didn't notice that at all. Not every day you see the bomb delete. So, yeah, appreciate Dignitas for agreeing to reset that round as well, as we'll be running back 1 round previous, and hopefully the bomb will spawn this time.
So what I was going to ask you is, in these two EU groups, which one do you think is more rife for upsets? For my money, I think Group B has the most upset potential in it, right?
Sure.
I think especially with the opening matches going kind of how we all expected here in the first RMR group for the EU division, I think that gives me a lot more confidence, right?
I'm doing some recon, Harry, and I'm watching the round back, and I don't see a bomb on anyone or on the minimap. I'm going to the beginning of the round. I just don't think it ever spawned. Look, the start of the round, it never spawned.
It just never spawned in.
It never spawned in. The bomb never spawned in that round. It simply did not exist.
Interesting. Very, very weird.
Wow.
I almost wonder if that's something to do with... I don't know if you saw there was another bug recently that Valve patched.
Yeah.
Which was you would plant the bomb and it would explode instantly.
What? I didn't see that.
Like immediately.
That's pretty funny, honestly.
Bomb has been planted and T's win.
That is a cool bug.
To be fair, upon reflection, you go, yeah, why weren't they doing that the whole time? Considering their goal was to, blow up these like weapons caches or whatever.
Why didn't they just explode the bomb immediately?
Yeah. But yeah, I almost wonder if those things are like tied together because I've not seen the bug where the bombs don't spawn at all.
Yeah, I literally just went back and watched the VOD. The bomb never spawned. It's just a game
I understand
bug.
it like going into like a stuck spot or like a glitch spot. Like maybe you throw it off the map and it doesn't respawn and it just tumbles forever.
I never saw
some weirdness, but yeah, I mean it just never materialized.
Very weird, very strange bug, but we appreciate you sticking with us for the time being. And again, just to clarify, if you just joined, we will be replaying that last round. The score is now 20-19 in favor of Eternal Fire. Seeing some smiles on faces, so some jokes being cracked, and hopefully the game being cracked back on in a moment. But what a, 6 years of, 7 years of commentary, Harry, I've never seen that in my life. I've seen bombs stuck. I've seen a lot of bombs stuck in my time. Not a lot, but maybe 5 times.
Yeah, but never just no bomb.
No bomb. Yeah.
And imagine
full deathmatch mode, man.
Imagine, that's what I was gonna say. Like, imagine you're Woxic in that moment, and you're calling, and you go,
plant.
and you go, okay, guys, plant, and then everyone in your team's like, I don't have bomb. I thought you had bomb, and then Woxic's like, no, I don't have bomb, and then you're looking at the mini map, and you go, wait, no, one of you must have it, and they're all going, no, none of us have it, and then you just hit like 20 seconds, and you go, well, we have to kill them all, so.
Yeah, that is
very peculiar.
Valve, please fix.
Yeah, that's one I can co-sign. It's funny once.
Yeah, and even then,
and
not
even then, at a push, right?
Yeah,
like, because I don't know about you guys, but this hasn't been the most. No one's going to look back on this whole conversation and go, "Oh yeah, that Eternal Fire dig game." You remember when Harry and Hugo just kind of sat there for like 20 minutes and talked to us about what teams they like or what player from 6 years ago they're hyped about seeing now?
I don't know. I think we did a pretty good job on the fill, Harry. Could have gone a lot worse.
Frybug's just telling stories. Look at him. Look, he's like gathered everyone around the campfire. He's okay. So this one time, I was in Aarhus, Denmark, and you wouldn't believe it, but me and Forrest and now Lekker's getting involved. He's like, no, seriously, this happened, guys. This happened.
Just buy the Deagle, guys. Every round, get 1 kill with it each, and that's 5 kills, and that's a round. You don't need the bomb.
You don't need it. The bomb doesn't even have to go off. Forrest is looking at the screen like, oh my God, why am I sat in between these two?
It's like tennis, man.
And now Frybug's saying, no, man, I'm telling you, the secret to it is to get really good with the shotguns. We need to be playing with the shotguns more. And Forrest is pointing at the screen going, look at you on the scoreboard, Frybug. I've never bought a shotgun. And Frybug's saying, well, look, man, I think that's kind of unreasonable of you. You know?
Your lip
I've been
reading's
playing this
getting
just
really
as long as
good.
you have. I've been playing this just as long as you have. They've got some muscly guy in there just in case the fight breaks out. Forrest is going in, right? I can't even say what he's saying right now on air.
It's actually completely inappropriate.
It's bad. Okay, I can't envision there's a healthy relate. No, I'm kidding. Obviously, these two are like best mates. But yeah, you know, just pitching the kind of shotgun Deeg meta is Freiburg. Lecro's understanding. Forrest looks on.
Deeg's cheaper than a shotgun. I prefer it.
But you get less money, Hugo. Get less return on investment. You could buy a bunch of penny stocks.
You know what the best return on investment is, Harry?
Yeah.
Winning the round.
That's
It doesn't
true.
matter how much money you spend as long as you win the round.
Would you rather, okay, Hugo, here's a question.
Hit me.
Would you rather win the lottery, earn a million,
all right.
Because it's not like the full
No,
prize,
yeah,
but
that's
still
good. That's
cushy
very
amount
good.
of money,
Yeah,
right?
I can't complain.
Win a milli, or you get given
Yeah.
£25 a day for the next 30 years.
That's a difficult question, Harry. I mean, the financial advisor in me wants to take the million, but there's something alluring about less than that. I don't know what it is.
Well, because that way you have to earn the million, right? Like it's like the grind set
we'll
never
have to
stops.
live long
Like,
enough to...
No, it's not about living long. It's like if you got a million right now, I know what you would do. You would go into your cave, your house, and you would never come back out, and I would never see you again, and no one would see you again. But if you were getting 25 a day, right? Imagine this. Suddenly, if you want that milli, right? Because someone else has got it now,
Yeah.
you gotta grind. You gotta work for it, baby.
I'm going to hide in my cave with my milli.
Yeah.
I'm going to roll around in piles of dough. I'm going to turn it into coins and fill a bathtub, Harry.
You know what
Get
I would
really
do? I would
coppery.
take the million and I would give it to my biggest hater.
Why?
Because
Wait,
then
you
I
could
would
be giving me the million? Yes! Yes!
So you'd have 2 million.
Nice.
And then that would only inspire me to work harder and faster and better.
That's inspiring, Harry. You've really done something there. Look, all I know right now is they're trying to find a bomb. They've actually broken into the heroic Fnatic game. They're trying to pick it up. They're trying to take it out of that one. So you guys don't need it. We got a game going on right now. We got overtime.
Look at that, man. Everyone's saying, like, have you ever seen this before, man? Like, have you ever seen this? They can't even...
Yeah.
I literally...
This is a really rough situation, obviously, though, because, you know, it's just, like, obviously, we don't actually know the details of these conversations. Surprisingly,
No, actually,
Harry's
when I'm
is
lip reading over them,
incorrect.
it's not as good as I make it sound.
But again, I would love someone to go in the demo later and see if maybe it was thrown off at the start, but I just don't, you know, from the VOD, it looked like it just did not spawn in the first place. And you know, either way, kind of have to reset around like this, I guess. Especially when you probably don't realize that until damage has been done. So it's not like you can even call it off. You see this 20 seconds, you go, actually, guys, this round's not live. No, you got to play it. I remember Henry got me with that once when we were in the Landsham, when we were playing 3v3s. And he knew I was a bit of an inexperienced LAN player, and we were live in a round, and he just screams, not live, not live, not live. And I take my hands off the keyboard. I'm like, oh, it's not live. And then they run in and kill us all. And then he goes,
he actually hit you
He did
with
that.
that.
It's like, you're a LAN noob. And I'm like, he got me there.
Wow.
That is old school as hell.
believe
That's
you got
1.6 as
wrecked by
hell.
that.
Yeah. I never lived that one down.
We had some very competitive 3v3s in the house, right?
Yeah, a lot on the line,
And
high stakes.
the kind of house rule set we were using, incredibly unique vibe to it.
Yeah.
I think
was
it ensured
dangerous.
only the best performance. I got to say, man, Trace Stutter really kind of impressed me with his performances
Absolutely.
there. Henry Greer as well was a treat to have him in the server. Chad Sponge Birchall was even there.
Are you going to list everyone, or are you going to like lay out a machine like that? Wow. Well, that's just rude.
And Alex Machine Richardson, of course.
Dear oh dear. Good times, good times. We had the bomb at least in that 3v3.
We did. Not that there was a lot of planting it going on. There was a lot of Zeusing, actually.
A lot of knifing at times.
But yeah, you know, I see...
Our headsets going on? No.
No, it was...
Then you see nothing, Harry.
Hang on, headsets were going on. Kind
Oh.
of briefly, right? I saw some earphones go in.
Don't get ahead of yourself, mate.
Someone tell him there's no bomb. I can't. He's wearing AirPods.
I'm going to be, for the rest of the tournament today, I'm going to be paranoid. I'm going to be checking for bomb every start of round. Like, we've got it, yep, phew. Whew. Okay. I'm going to give you folks an A-Stream update in case your hands aren't working right now. There's always a chance. Heroic are 14-9 up against Fnatic in their second matchup. That's a 1-0 game. Fnatic, of course, picked up their opening dub. Very nicely done over Gamer Legion. And Heroic took down Forza. Those two teams, the latter of which is what we're covering eventually when this one's over. Who knows how many overtimes later? Forza, Gamer Legion, another 0-1 game, as this one is as well. And that's why, again, to reiterate how high these stakes are, we saw it for 9Z, a rare exception in the Americas region, where they went 0-2 and then they turned it around, went 3-2, won their other couple of BO3s to go through and actually qualify for the major. But that is a rarity. You go down 0-2, you are on the chopping block every match you play. But folks, currently we don't have an update. We're going to be throwing it over to a break. Stick with us. We'll be getting that bomb back in the server and we'll be getting the game going again. We'll see you shortly. we're back, folks. Thanks for waiting with us. We are replaying the round. Dignitas did unfortunately not convert it as a result of the bug we just experienced. The bomb did not spawn. There it is on the ground. It's back. Xantares safely got it in hand, not letting anyone throw it out of the game. But thanks for sticking with us. It's an awkward situation, but you got to play on. There's still a major spot on the line, down the line. This is an 0-1 matchup, and we're here in our second overtime. I'm here with Harry Russell. How are you doing?
You used my full name. I like that. Eternal Fire taking ramp, and this time the bomb is in tow. Dignitas, they're trying to re-molly back in. I mean, this was like the bread and butter of the CT side with these late round ramp re-aggros. However, this time it's traded to the advantage of Eternal Fire. Freiburg and Heat both dead. Halzerk's missed the timing, and this is starting to get out of hand now. Eternal Fire with a bomb plant in a 4-on-2. It's going to leave Forest and Lekro to retake in a really rough spot.
Yeah, Forrest missed his Molotov. He was flashed out. This Molly, it's going to land default. It's not really going to save much, is it? Just gets extinguished by the smoke. Not really a problem. Eternal Fire already off the bomb site anyway, and Forrest is going for the stick. He's sneaking up inside of the smoke, in the site, on the defuse right now. Are they going to get him off? Yes, just about. They shoot through. That looked terrifying for a moment. Eternal Fire on match point right now, and this one has to hurt a little for Dig. Or a lot.
Yeah, no sugarcoating it, right? It's never going to feel nice. They're coming in up against match point here. They're going to need to win 2 in a row. Unfortunate kind of start to the round as well, right? The late ramp flash back in. It's often worked so well, getting traded favorably for Eternal Fire. Halzerk really missing that timing with his AWP. And it all comes back to haunt Dignitas.
A lead. AWP's here as well, but it's all a bit of a fakeroo for Emor, trying to keep players here as Eternal Fire walk for a late B. Lekro's alone there. Is he rotating? Or he's checking spawn for nades, perhaps? Halzerk's won his fight up on A, getting rid of the lurker, might free up a rotate back to B, and they'll need it right here, right now. Lekro, he's getting run down. Molly, he's given a chance to escape in the 5v4, gonna play a retake round on Dig. They can throw in util, good flash peek, and Lekro doubles up. Woxic will trade that kill. It's not done yet, and Woxic follows up. Mid lurker is here, and it's here with vengeance, finding Freiburg jumping up. There's still a 2v2 ensuing as Eternal Fire have been given a chance to go back with that bomb to A.
This is going to get heard by the elevated player, though. It's not going to be too much of a secret. Heap's already going backwards into the A play. And I like this response from Halzerk. He's actually doubling down on the B aggro. This does leave mid open. This does leave a bit of a gap. But if Woxic dies pushing short, that should be the round. Eternal Fire have been betrayed in a moment like this just before. And the barrel has given Woxic away. Too hung for his own good. It's X-Flowered in the 1v2. And with the bomb dropped, Dignitas going to lock in a 20th. Now 1 away from a triple OT affair.
Dude, that's a sick rotate for Eternal Fire if the barrel doesn't poke through.
Dude, if this goes to triple overtime as well, part of me feels like that is just like kind of like best case scenario. Like,
I think it would, because Dig would always have the caveat if they lost at this point in the game. I mean, there's no denying it. It's a very awkward situation, but I think a reset of overtimes would actually be really just at this point in the game, so everyone gets back on the same foot and gets to pretend that none of this ever happened. Mentally, you got to wipe it off, and this is your chance to do it. Eternal Fire still can close the map right now, though. Their final tack timeout. They didn't use their first until like 25 rounds deep into this map, when they started feeling the burn as Dignitas strung 6 CT rounds together towards the end of regulation. They got 15 first. They had the chance to close. Eternal Fire went back and brought it to overtime. And then it was the other way around. Eternal Fire hit 18 first. Dig still made it double overtime. And now they're trying to make it a third.
Going to try and sneak his way up through short. Going to try and play around these smokes. There is a triple setup for Dignitas inside of the A site, but they're starting to lean away. Starting to lean away with one, leaving this AWP of Halzerk scoped on the angle. While this is happening, 3 more players for Eternal Fire are starting to work this B control. These double nades go in, but Lecro isn't on the angle at Tetris, and so they don't find the damage they were hoping for. They don't roll out that red carpet for Eternal Fire. At a bare minimum, the nades have scared an extra rotation over towards B, right? A second man moving in. And now this is where Eternal Fire, knowing that they've probably jiggled around the setup for Dig, are going to look to recommit up through ramp. A 2-man hold is all that stands here. It's been here since the start of the round. There's going to be none of this ramp re-aggro. Instead, likely fighting from the short walls, something that we've seen a lot from Dig. Heaps mollied out of there and looks like he wants to retreat, just set up to play retake. Dignitas are playing almost an Eternal Fire-esque round, and they've started it by taking the man advantage. Hauser Zorp silenced after the first. Now utility starts to rein in, heating up the play, heating up the site, and denying a bomb plant for Eternal Fire.
Time is ticking, and there's no more mollies to stop this plant. They've got to get it down here and now. Can anyone cover? Woxic needs to hit a shot as the stick comes in. They could run him down if they want. Woxic's hit a kill, though. Forest is out of the round. Suddenly, the favor flips back to Eternal Fire as they just have to hold on. Emor trying to escape, disallowed by Lecro, and smoking kit available for this defuse. They're going to cross out. Woxic hits another. He's just trying to shut down the map, lock him out, and he might do it solo. 3 kills from the in-game leader, and he will end the map and series. Eternal Fire recover and go 1-1 here in the RMR.
Yeah, man, crazy scenes from Woxic to close, and I mean, it all comes to a head in the double overtime affair. That retake was looking so good for Dig. You know, they were able to snuff out the first man with Hauser Zorp. They're delaying plants with utility, but ultimately, Woxic's AWP gonna rise to the occasion.
Yeah, it hurt for Dig. They had 2 smokes there on that retake. They didn't get a chance to get them out because they couldn't even move off of the boost spot. They were just getting picked apart, maybe wanting to right-click it on the site. For Dig, you know, can't deny that that's a horrible position to be in, given everything that went on, but it is the position they're in now, 0-2 in the European RMR, and they've got to just forget about it, wipe it off, and try and pick themselves up to try and reverse sweep here in the 8th.